Hey, what's good, people? Whether it's everybody at work, in between class, while you're working out, or sitting on your ass, I want to welcome you to the CharlieGtv Podcast. And we have a hell of a show lined up here for you today, all right? It is August 19th, and the weather's been hot, but it's cooling off a little bit. I wore shorts, and I kind of regretted it. It's getting a little cool this evening. I want to welcome everybody on YouTube. Remember to like and subscribe. You already know I'm dropping every week with the pod and coming out with the clips, you know what I'm saying, trying to make it happen. Pardon for the times I fall behind. I'm only a one man, making it happen, you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about a lot today, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about the dream cruise, you know what I mean? We talk about car trouble, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about this American election climate and how things is going here, you know what I mean? We're also talking about a little bit about guns, just a little bit, you know what I mean? And technology and so many other things in the economy. But before I get into all of that, I got to introduce the very, very cool guest that we have on here today. This is his maybe second or third, maybe fourth time being on the podcast. This is my homie. You know what I mean? I had bum-ass car trouble, my shit fucking up, and this guy was my first call because I knew he knew what to do. He's a hell of a character. He's in here dressed to impress. You know what I mean? I love his outfit today. He's a hell of a guy. You know what I mean? You guys are in for a treat, all right? He's a tinkerer by nature. He's damn near a mechanic, even though he doesn't want to be trained as a painter, man. Many skills, a hell of a guy, a hard worker. I'd like to introduce back to the pod, friend of the show, none other than Jajo.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Glad to be back. Thank you for having me again.
No problem. Happy to have you, bro. So we start every podcast with what we call the Watch This Week. You know what I mean? It could be a TV show, a movie. It could be an anime or anything that a YouTube channel. Or it could be story time of something crazy happened this week that you need to tell the people. You know what I mean? So what came across your consciousness this week that you want to relate to the people?
You know, I think I'll pick story time.
Story time.
Yeah, story time.
All right.
So it's something that happened to my girlfriend, not to me today, believe it or not. So to make a long story shorter, she was helping her grandmother out. They were going and grocery shopping. This lady she fell over right in the middle of the grocery store, started having a seizure, just in the middle of the aisle, just like
Old
that.
lady having a seizure?
Yeah, older woman fell over. She was shopping, pushing her cart, boom, hit the floor. So my girlfriend was like, "Oh shit, whatever." Set her grandma, kind of off the side, went over, flipped her on her side because I guess that's what you do. She was foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, flip on her side. So, yeah.
Yep. And then stayed with this lady until EMS showed up. So. The way I look at it, she saved that lady's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one else jumped
knowing
in.
what to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Shout out to her being a first
Yeah.
responder
Yeah.
in an on-the-spot situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People always say what they would do, but until the shit hits the fan and everyone's there with the T-Rex arms, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Shout out to her stepping in there, getting it done. You know what I mean? That's great. That's great. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because everybody else was, ain't able to doing nothing.
Yep, sitting there watching.
For real, you know what I mean? So shout out to the call to action. Listen, if you're having a seizure, I do believe get on the so the fluids could get out so you don't choke on the fluids and the extra saliva production going on there. That was a good move. So what got you interested in the car world in the first place, do you think? And what was your first experience with the Dream Cruise?
So I don't really know what got me into cars because I don't have anybody in my family who's into cars. Nobody's a mechanic. Nobody has, any sort of car or anything like that. I think what it was is when I was a kid, when I was young, I would go and spend weekends at my grandma's house all the time. And one of the favorite things that we do is she'd take me across the street to the grocery store and we'd go to the toy aisle. She'd go, "Okay, pick out a Hot Wheels car." So every week I got a new Hot Wheels car. And then I got a little track. Mm-hmm. And then I got a little case to put them all in. So I had them all in there, and, I'd play with them and race and do all kinds of stuff. So I think that's what got me into it.
Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
You know something? I don't know the exact name of them, but there were these animated Hot Wheels movies that they made on Cartoon Network at one point that were fucking dope as shit. You know what I mean? I can't remember. They were like racing for some. It was like a Hot Wheels thing, but it was like low key lit as fuck. I don't know why.
I don't remember that.
Man, it was back in the times of what was that stupid robot shit that my fucking brother loved. It was like Bionicle or some shit like that. But I can't remember it.
Those were like Legos, but like robots.
Yeah, it was during those times. He liked those shits, and then I was fucking with the Hot Wheels and that animated show, man. It was
Yeah.
dope. I fuck with Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels got a special place in my heart too, man.
Oh,
They
man.
got them little ones, man. Shout out to Hot. So Hot Wheels got you into the Hot
Yep,
Wheels.
Yep.
So I don't believe you made it to the Dream Cruise this year, but you did last year, right?
No, I did go this year.
You did? You still went?
I did. Yeah, I didn't drive my car. We went.
Yeah.
And we hung out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was this year. Honestly, was kind of bad.
Why?
Because of the weather.
Yeah,
A lot of people, stayed home because of the weather. So it was a lot more just like regular cars out driving around and whatnot. But it was all right.
Because I guess some cars they don't want to risk.
Yeah, some guys are weird and like only drive their cars when it's sunny out, and they're weird. They don't drive their cars, and I think that's weird. What's the point of having it if you're not going to drive it?
Yeah, they don't drive it in any sort of. They don't want to mess it up in any sort of way.
No, if there's one cloud in the sky, they keep it in the garage, and they only bring it out on the weekends at 8 a.m. That's weird to me. That's weird shit to me.
They baby the fuck out.
Yeah,
of it.
it's these trailer queens and whatever you want to call it. You bought the car to enjoy it and drive it.
Yeah, you so drive the motherfucker.
Yeah,
drive
that's the
car.
point of having it.
Yeah,
you can enjoy sitting in it. Go get a picture. Look at a picture of it. It's no different than a picture.
Exactly.
If you just look at it.
Exactly.
But whatever. To each their own, I guess.
That's funny as hell. But yeah, the weather was a big factor. You know what I mean? Because I was out there and I got the drone footage before the weather went, and I got a lot of on foot footage, but I didn't. Right when I was doing the street interviews, that's when the weather started. It was right around, I'm gonna say like 2:00, 2:15 around there, closer to 3 around there. That's when the weather started to. And I was like, fuck, I couldn't, because my gimbal is electric that I was using to control the phone, and plus my wireless mic. I just couldn't afford for my stuff to get rained.
Was this your first year going to the Dream Cruise?
It was.
Was it? So how did you enjoy? I'm curious, from someone who's never seen it before, how you enjoyed it.
Well, I only really went to that section that was on in Royal Oak. You know what I mean? Right by there. It was a pretty big section. I mean, I don't know. To me, I got a couple blocks of a lot of cars. I enjoyed it because, number one, though, there wasn't enough food. I don't know if because I was in Royal Oak, but like there was only like one guy selling some barbecue. So there wasn't enough food. Because I remember coming back, I was like, would have bought food from almost any food truck that looked slightly tasty. I would have bought food from because I was done. I walked up and down, did all the drone shit. I just wanted to go eat something, go sit in my car, smoke a joint, and recharge, charge my shit, and then get back out there for the street interview. So I was walking back thinking, where is the food in this motherfucker? There was not enough food.
No, especially like if you were in Royal Oak, there isn't much of shit, and Royal Oak really, I feel like they don't even want to participate.
Yeah,
but they do because they have to because of the money it brings in.
I think I should have went to Ferndale or something.
So that's where we were at this year, Ferndale, and like there's a ton of restaurants and stuff. So you could have even popped into a restaurant. A lot of them are doing to go, and they don't normally do to go because of that.
Yeah, because
go to Pontiac. Pontiac it's the Wild West.
Isn't that like?
It's further north, yeah. But
do they have a Dream Cruise or something?
It's the same day.
But so it would almost be like an either or type thing. Because at least Ferndale and Royal Oak, you can like sort of go to both of them.
Yeah, so I mean, you could like, so if you go to Pontiac's the Wild fucking West. They're up there doing burnouts and shit in the middle. Swear to God. I swear.
But all right, so I guess I kind of got it.
So that's more of like you go up there, you just cut loose, do whatever. As long as you're not doing anything real stupid, the cops, they don't care up there. And I've seen guys with their big smokers behind the trucks cooking up barbecue and stuff. So if you just want a little something somebody's cooking.
How far is Pontiac from like where we are now?
From here?
Yeah.
Half hour.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm
half
going
hour,
to Pontiac.
40 minutes.
Fuck yeah,
maybe?
half an hour drive. Fuck yeah, I'll do that.
A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll
for the drone footage and people going crazy.
Yeah, that's the place to do it. I mean, they're throwing bleach in the street and shit for you to do burnouts on. It's nuts up there.
Oh, man.
So that would have been good to go up there and do like interviews and shit up there. Royal Oak's kind of like you get the stuffy old guy.
Yeah, there was a lot of old white. I swear to God, somebody, you're gonna get in trouble. I heard someone say that one time.
That's where they all hang out.
Yeah, like a lot of Karens.
Yep, a lot of Karens. A lot of Karen energy in Royal Oak. They hang out in Royal Oak. Ferndale's okay. That's like an in between. You can't be doing burnouts and stuff there. They'll still pop you, but you can go and hang out, whatever. You know, as long as you're not being obvious, you can drink a little something. You know, you're not supposed to, but for the most part, they don't care. But yeah, if you're trying to have fun, stay out of Royal Oak.
Yeah, I was in Royal Oak smoking it up, having a little Patron in the cup.
Yeah.
But I need, and I felt bad about this until I heard like little behind the scenes, like other people that do street interviews, which made me feel better. I need liquor to do street interviews.
I can see that.
Me personally,
they call it liquid courage for a reason.
And then I heard another guy. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have that drink. Give me a little bit, just a little bit to just be able to, break that ice and be smooth with it." But like, there's like a limit. Of course, you can't be sloppy drunk. I can't be drunk to the point where they immediately know that I'm drunk. But I have to be loose enough to have the balls to be able to just break that ice.
You just gotta, loosen it up a little bit. Yeah. That's it.
And then once you break the ice for the first couple people, you kind of get, you know what I mean? And then the street interviewing is fun, and people be wanting to do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I love Detroit, because it's so underserved in the media market. Like, when I was doing in draft day, 300,000 people, something crazy. Like, I was doing street interviews. I saw no one else doing it.
No.
I saw two people from the actual news people.
Yeah.
And they were stationary in one spot.
Yeah.
But nobody walking through the crowd like I am walking through doing shit. No, nobody.
No.
Nobody. You know
I can't think of, out of all the stuff that I saw from draft, I think yours were the only street interviews that weren't, 247 the channels, news channels. It was just your shit was popping up.
Exactly.
So, you're right. We need more people street interviewing, I guess.
Yeah, there's no one covering these events like that. But no one's gonna do it like CharlieGtv. You heard me, because I'm trying to give you. When I cover events, I like doing all three. I like doing a drone so I can get the overview and the scope of the landscape of the thing. I like doing on the foot footage so I can get the up close of the cars, the people, some of the little footage of the shots and stuff. And I like doing the street interviews so you can hear the people that's there, their experience there while they're there. You know what I mean? And I get all the crazy drunk people that the white announcer lady scared will go up to. You know what I mean? So what you call it? What's the best memory you've ever had at a dream cruise event? What's the best memory?
At a dream cruise specifically,
or maybe if it's not if something and a car meet or something like that tops dream cruise.
Yeah.
And so, but car related memory.
Car related memory. I think one of my favorites. It's hard to pick one, but one of my favorites was the first year I got the car I have now. I took it out 2 weeks after I bought it. My wrist was broken. I was in a cast.
I remember that time.
Yeah, I was in a cast, so I'm driving it with one arm. But it was just fun. It was just me, my girl. We were just, cruising. It was hot as hell, but I didn't care, And that was just fun to me.
Mm.
And that to me is what it's about. You just go out and whatever, you cruise, you have a good time, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite memories. Like I said, it's hard to pick one.
Yeah.
This simple. Nothing real crazy involved. Nothing happened. It was just, I hadn't had a car that I could drive for a while. And I picked this one. I went to Indianapolis to get that one.
Yeah.
So I drove a little while. And the story behind getting it was, a little sentimental to me in a weird way. But yeah, that's just cruising with her for the first time in it.
Cruising with his girl in his old school. Yeah. Feeling like a pimp.
Something like that.
Like
something
a pimp, I'm the man.
Yeah. Oh, it's got the bench seat. Get up here like that.
Yeah, the bench seats. Let me tell you, the old school cars was made for making business. About the baby boomer. Had a lot to do with the cars back then.
Big ass bench seats.
I'm telling you,
them front seats fold down. Man.
It was made. It was basically a mattress. It's basically a futon. It basically was driving, sitting in a futon, pretty much. The way they had it back
really
then.
were, yeah.
This is the reason why I used to, when I was looking for cars back in the day, when I was first looking for cars, I wanted an old Impala. And it was because the older Impalas had the bench seat in the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the reason why I was attracted to some of the Lincoln cars, too, because they had the bench seat. Something about that. They take all that center console shit, put it up here in the front.
Yep.
Take all this, let's move all this space between us, baby. And they don't make no new cars like that. All the new cars got something in between the middle. You know what I mean? Like, only the old school cars got the cuddle of it. You could just scoot over.
Because they knew what you were doing.
They knew what you were doing.
They knew what was up. They knew.
And that's why I'm going to get me an old school. That's the old school car. That's going to be the first date car.
Hell yeah.
Pick her up in that bitch. She'll be like, ooh, yeah. I know what I'm doing in this motherfucker. I'm terrible. Surviving Charlie G documentary coming soon. But anyway, Yeah, that's really dope though. Cruising with a lady, I respect that. I heard there was a green cruise on Friday, which was all electric or maybe alternative powered vehicles. You know what I mean? So I missed that, even though I did enjoy seeing. I saw about 2, maybe 3 Cybertrucks on
Yeah, I saw a
on
couple.
there. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed seeing them. You know what I mean? I did. You know what I mean? Those Cybertrucks. Let me tell you something. People hated on them when they first came out, and people still hating on them now. But to me, especially at Dream Cruise, like you see all different old type of car, every type of car. That Cybertruck is fucking iconic as fuck, bro. At the end of the day, that Cybertruck is just like, I see that thing and I'm like, that's like the future. That shit is the most, like.
I hope it's not the future. That thing's ugly as shit.
It is. It's ugly.
That is so
it's
ugly.
but at the same time, like, the only cars that look better than that car to me between today's cars are cars that are made like before the 90s or like those 80s cars, 60s cars, all those cars with all of those is better. All of those is better because I love the shapes on them.
Yeah,
like even your car, the sharp edges, because all of that sharp edge shit, which I love in the 90s and even and all all of that shit ends. In the 2000s, everything gets soft and rounded.
Yeah. In the 90s and 2000s, they rounded everything up.
Everything got real soft and nothing had, like, I hate a lot of the designs of all the cars when in the early 2000s. It just lost all of its character. You know what I mean? And I felt like it was all computer made, all algorithm made, all aerodynamics made, and where the cars back in the day were more artists made, you know, especially in the 60s. They weren't optimizing for aerodynamics.
No, they didn't give a shit about
you know what I
aerodynamics.
It was about how beautiful the look of it. Then when today it's all gas per mile or gallon, you know, it's not the art. A lot of the artistry has been under.
It's been taken out.
Yeah,
you know, you've got. I mean, like, look in the 50s and 60s, and, you know, every year the same model would look different.
Exactly, because it was an artist thing.
Yeah, it was people doing it, and they wanted to make a statement, and they wanted it to look a certain way. Now if you look at the front of a Ford car, they basically all look the same. You look at the front of a Chevy, they basically all the same, because they're more worried about the brand recognition. And, a Chevy's a Chevy. You know, they don't really care about what it looks like to a point anymore. They're more worried about, you know, how much technology can we put in it and how, like you said, miles per gallon, which fine, I guess it's cool, but not to sound goofy, but they took the soul out of it. There's no soul in cars. There's no soul in it.
There's no soul in it. And they was talking about it with architecture too. Like they said now, the same thing I think that's happening with architecture is what's happening with car design. Because see, the same way how car designs all look very similar, because they, instead of being driven by artistic expression and those things, it was driven by the numbers, like the aerodynamics. That's why they all getting a similar shape. They were all driven by math, miles per gallon, aerodynamics, safety things. You know what I mean? Not necessarily how it looks or makes you feel. That's not really taken much into account. You know what I mean?
No.
And with the architecture, from what they're telling me, is like they now have like algorithms of almost everything that. So what do the most first home owner buyers want? What is the good for the? And then they feed it into a AI, and it spits out a blueprint based on what it thinks. So instead of you designing like, I want the house to look like this style, it's like, nah, this is what the AI says is the most efficient layout with the most features that most people want. You know what I mean? And that's why, if you notice, a lot of houses getting built nowadays look a lot the same. It's because that blueprint isn't being made by some artist that's like, oh, house is going to look with this skyline, or house is going to look driving up the block, or house is going to look with the sun. No, it's not being designed with any sort of significance or artist thing in mind. It's just like numbers, the most efficient, the most, you know what I mean? And on one hand, I see the reason for that, but on the other hand, it's like, it's the soul, man. It's the, you know.
You're right. It's the soul of the house or the car, you know. It is character. It's different than all the other ones on the block, you know. You get these neighborhoods they're putting up now, even. It's 50 houses, and they're all exactly the same. And they're all $1 million houses. Cool. I mean, good for you. You know, you can afford that kind of shit. But
with like little variation, like little.
Sometimes not even. It'll be the paint and the floor on the inside because the person who bought it picks it.
Yeah.
you know, then they just pick from a catalog of 30 options. So, you know, it is what it is. It ain't for me, but whatever.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is about that. And it's the same thing that happens whenever you optimize. And I think it's because money corrupts and just takes the soul out of things. And and on the one hand, I respect business, but on the other hand, like, it just erodes the soul of things. It's like with music. It's like if you're an artist and you're putting out music and you have a fan, the music company might be like, listen, we don't want you making too much political music or making too much, you know, point of view type music because we don't want to ostracize. We want to maximize your ability to hit fan base. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. You're not allowing me to, but the people that would come to me because of me just saying how I feel are gonna fuck with me. They're gonna buy the merch. They're gonna go to the shows.
Yeah, they're gonna be loyal.
They're gonna be there way more than me just trying to get the people that are just there without nothing. No, you know, they don't really attach themselves to the thing. But everything's so scared to give a point of view to stand for something. You know what I mean, or to have a opinion on something. It's like. And it doesn't allow you to have that soul that say because it's like that's why hip hop is dying to me. Hip hop was dying for a long time with the ignorance, but now it's so disconnected with the average person.
I agree. I mean, granted, I don't listen to a ton of because of that reason. You know, anything made after like 2006, I'm not really. I don't even bother. Because, you know, give or take, because like you said, everything and I think it's. These companies and, you know, these artists or whoever, they get so big that they trade off, you know, okay, this is what made me famous. I'm no longer going to do it because this is what's going to make me money. Yeah. And I get it. You're doing it to make money, but a lot of times you lose where you come from. Exactly. And that sucks.
And the messed up thing is like these guys, I always say they get fuck you money, but never say fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, they get it without saying it,
but what they never say if they say fuck you, it's to the people. But fuck you is supposed to be to the system. That's what you're supposed to say. My mom say fuck you to. It's like, all right, I gotta play your game. I gotta jump through your hoops. I gotta perform for the record label. I gotta perform this contract. You got me for 4 albums. All right, I'll be a good boy. I'll do the tours. I'll do the press for 4 years. You got me. All right, but guess what? After I get all the fan base after these 4 albums, after I get all the shit, and my contract is up, and I've made 20 million, 10 million, 50 million, and I've squirreled a little enough away, and I bought my house outright, and it got solar panels on it, and I'm Gucci for real, you know what I mean? And I can take my fame and everything I built up and go independent, I'm going to say fuck you. You know what I mean? I'm going to be like, guess what? Taiwan is going to attack by China. I'm just saying, nah. I'm just saying, like, you know, the shit, whatever you're like, they're not allowing you to say that. Be like, listen, dog, listen. Before they're like, listen, Palestine was there first. Listen, hold on. Listen, bro, relax. You're going off the rails, but nah. Yeah, those people, man, they never. It's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? I got off track, but anyway. Another thing I heard of, because I got mad, I started telling people that because it got rained out, and it's really my fault. I didn't go early enough to capture the Dream Cruise. I was like hoping that there was going to be some stuff Sunday, and it really wasn't.
No.
It really wasn't.
Yeah.
I heard that there's stuff Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night, the day before is usually big.
Yeah. I heard Friday night stuff happens, and Saturday, but Sunday it was fucking nothing, bro. I'm telling you. Went to Ferndale, I went to sit. There was no one sitting, no one cooking, nothing happened this Sunday, bro. It didn't look like nothing. So I was like, fine. I gave up. But and giving up and telling people about it. I heard about something called the Gratiot Dream Cruise, the Gratiot Cruise.
Yeah. Gratiot has a cruise. I think they already did it.
You did it already. I missed it.
Yeah. But theirs is good. I've only gone once or twice. Theirs is good because they actually...
What's the difference? What's it compared to?
So the biggest difference for me is Gratiot Cruise is a lot smaller, but it's ran a lot better. So the Woodward Dream Cruise is basic. It's a free-for-all. You drive whatever...
Different cities.
It's, you know, I mean, you drive it in whatever lane you want. They don't keep normal traffic off the road, whatever. Gratiot, they have two, so it's a 4-lane road, just like Woodward. 2 lanes, they block them off for the cruising traffic. So 2 lanes, you have to be, like, you sign up for it, but it's nothing, like, you're just saying, hey, yep, and you get a little sticker saying you can be in those lanes because that's all they look for. So it's not like you got to pay or nothing. You just say, yep, I want to come cruise. They send you a sticker. You put it in your windshield. You can only be in those lanes if you have a sticker. The other 2 lanes are regular traffic, so it keeps it separated, which is way better.
Way better.
It's way better.
Especially if someone's trying to capture footage of nice cars, consistent, badass-looking cars.
Not mom's minivan rolling by.
In the middle.
Yeah. There's another one coming up this coming Sunday. Heinz Cruise.
You're lying. There's another cruise coming up.
There's another Heinz Cruise. So this one...
I hate my life. I hate this. I'm trying to cover everything, and I'm gonna kill myself. Sorry. Heinz Cruise. Tell me about Heinz Cruise.
This one's over like way east side. They close the whole road down. It's a smaller road, but they close the whole road down. This one you got to pay like $5 or $10 for. Not a big deal, but they only let you in there if your car is considered a classic. So
hold on. You telling me I'd like to pay to get in? Like, you mean
to drive on the road?
To drive.
Yeah, if you just showed up and walked around, you're good.
Okay.
You just have to find parking somewhere and walk.
Okay.
But they only let your car in, if I'm not mistaken, you have to be a classic, which is 25 years or older. They don't let any new shit on the road. And from what I've heard, I've never been to this one. I plan on going. It's run very well. It's nothing but sweet-ass cars all day. It's like 9 a.m. to 4, something like that. So it's not an all-day thing. You get out there.
Good, is it a Saturday?
It's a Sunday.
It's perfect.
It's the Sunday.
It's the Sunday.
It's this Sunday coming up.
I don't got a podcast or nothing. Yep. My Sunday wide open this Sunday. It sounds like I'm going to the Heinz Cruise.
Yep.
You gotta do me a favor. Please send me the information.
I got
the Heinz
you.
Cruise.
Yeah, I got
to know because I missed the Dream Cruise. I missed the Gratiot Cruise. And all I'm thinking is that, like, because to me this is all shit that, like, it were opportunities for me to get boosts on my views and shit that I missed out on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't get the Gratiot Cruise. I didn't get the street interviews there. I didn't get the street interviews at the Woodward Dream Cruise. You know what I mean? And now they got the Heinz Cruise, and I'm like, and it's on a Sunday. I might be able to maximize this out and get maximum.
There's a ton of cruises everywhere. There's way more than just those 3. Like,
are there?
Yeah, Van Dyke has one. St. Clair Shores has one. Gratiot has another one further up, like north.
Yeah.
They split it. There's like a South Gratiot Cruise and a North Gratiot Cruise. So there's it's all over. And then there's, weekly shows, all kinds of stuff.
Well, the reason why I wanted to start getting into covering some of that is because the whole idea of my brand is like being a lens on Detroit. You know what I mean? And Detroit is the motor city. So I felt like I had to start incorporating a little bit of car love and culture into a bit of my channel. And I was going to use the cruises and stuff like that as well, but I didn't know there were so many, which is just a benefit to me. There's more opportunities because, like I said, the same videos that I was trying to hook up for my guy for free, I'm sure there's many car enthusiasts that would love to get footage of themselves driving their car on
I'm sure,
drone, you know what I mean? Or get footage, a little thing put together that's real, like a high production for no reason. I'll get a fucking fog machine and put it next to the car. Have you getting stepping in with the fog? You know what I mean? Guy's gonna love that.
Yeah, I mean,
a fog, but have the car pulling up in the fog. Listen, a fog machine can do a lot for cinematography. Let me tell you.
I believe it.
A fog machine plus a good camera.
I believe it.
Can do a lot. All right, can do a lot.
A little fog and a little camera, you'd be all set.
I'm telling you, man, shit getting spooky. Shit different. Shit hitting different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I wanted to shout out to all of the great cars and the people that love cars in Detroit, because there really are a lot of people that love cars. Like, I don't know. New York got I don't think who's fucking with. I heard California got a strong car culture.
Yeah, Cali's got a great scene, but they got good weather all year round. They can. You can daily drive something from the 50s if you really wanted to.
Although I feel like the regulation on what they're doing with the emissions and stuff, like they're sort of regulating the car culture out of what because they're with modifications. They're getting down on cracking down on that, and like, you kind of can't modify your car OD in California
Yeah.
to a certain degree, and that's what you kind of got to do with an old school car, you know.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
all.
yeah,
it basically
it
is a
depends.
running mod.
Yep.
Basically, the whole thing is none of
Yeah,
it
no
exists for
shit.
real. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like Detroit is really gonna be the king of the car culture for. All right. Atlanta has a pretty strong car culture. I could hear them yelling at me in the mic. Listen, Atlanta, we got the Hellcats. We've been out there with the old Atlanta been on. All right, Atlanta.
Oh, so you've got probably a dozen states right now screaming at you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple out there. There's a couple with the Kentucky and probably other.
You got them goofballs from Carolina screaming with that dumbass squad. We got car culture, man. Fuck you. That ain't car culture. That's called poor education and bad life decisions. Get that dumb shit off your truck.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. If I got a Tesla Cybertruck, which I really want a Cybertruck, I would put. If I ever get a truck, a real truck, I got an SUV. This is not a truck. It's not a truck. You got a real truck.
Yeah.
F4. You got a real truck. But I always liked the first time I seen them, I started dying laughing. I've always wanted truck nuts on my car. I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care, bro. Truck nuts gotta be the most American thing to ever exist, bro. If I had to pick top 3 American items, bro.
Truck nuts, gun rack,
American
flag.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
A 12-pack of empty natty lights in the back.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Just real goof shit.
American. I'm telling you, truck nuts, I feel like are a unique American phenomenon. I don't know.
It's unique. I don't know if it's good, but it's unique.
But unique is what makes a culture a culture. Like if I want to go eat dogs, if I want to eat the bow wow, I'm going to Vietnam. That's y'all shit, dog. Y'all like to eat the bow wow. I don't know what that is about that. But they like eating dogs in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I want to eat Sparky all the time. I'm not saying like I be looking at Sparky like, I bet he's tasty. But like, I'm not allergic to nothing. I'm a curious eater. You know what I mean? And if I was in Vietnam, I don't want to eat like regular burgers. Like, I only going to make.
You can't go to Burger King in Vietnam.
I mean, hey, I don't know if I want to eat the rat though. I don't know how I feel about eating rat. You know what I mean? Listen, but although. One of my favorite shows growing up was Andrew Zimmerman at Bizarre Foods.
Yeah, that was a good
one of
one.
my favorite.
That was a good one. I like
growing
that
up.
one.
You used to eat a fucking snake heart, a frog heart beating on the fucking thing. We eat that, and he ate the testicles of like a fucking cow testicle, fucking rooster testicle.
No, that shit
He's
used
eating
to
the testicle of
me
like
out,
4 or 5 different animals.
Yeah.
Bro. If it wasn't him, it was Man vs. Wild with the maggots and eating the fucking insect shit out of the. Yes, get protein, bro. Yeah, yeah, eat that. Yeah.
No thing.
It grosses me the fuck out.
I'm gonna go look for a coconut or something. You go ahead and keep the maggots.
This guy's living out his. You know what made me want to eat bugs? I ain't gonna lie. The one time that made me want to eat bugs is a crazy reference, but it's definitely Timon and Pumbaa eating those bugs. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to eat them bugs. It was like, this one juicy, this one, and this was crunchy. And I was like, I bet one of them bitches is hit.
Maybe those ain't so bad.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I tell you, if I had to pick one bug to try for sure, it would be fried cricket.
Yeah, okay, that's a pretty safe one.
I've heard fried cricket is good.
Well,
I heard they like potato
they put
chips.
like crickets in suckers and shit.
They do?
Yeah. You've never had that?
A cricket sucker? No. Yeah. I'm American.
Maybe that's just like, because what was it? Was it the Science Center? It might have been the Science Center up here when they first opened. I could have that wrong. But in the gift shop, they had like suckers with a cricket in the middle of it.
That was like edible?
It was a sucker. You eat it like a regular sucker, and there was a cricket in the middle of it. You just eat the cricket.
You ate the cricket?
I think so. I don't remember if I got it or not. They had like chocolate covered ants and shit too.
You ate my homie Jiminy, and you ate Jiminy. You ate my homie.
Yeah, man. They sell
crazy.
that shit. You can get that.
That's
where
nuts.
Wherever. But yeah.
Yeah, because crickets, like, they only eat like grass and shit, so they're
right.
like, and they're cleaner. You know what I mean? Because I ain't trying to eat roaches, dog.
No. What the fuck? No.
Nah, that's what they be doing. They be eating. They be frying up the Madagascar. They be this fat, and be like,
No, we could go right over here and get some roaches out of some bedrooms. I've seen some houses over here. Man.
Yeah, I'm good. I ain't about to do
No.
that. Nah, I remember how I felt about that. That had me ready to fight. There was this movie called Snowpiercer. I don't know if you ever seen it.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
You gotta see
Yeah.
it. So in Snowpiercer, they was on this train or whatever. But bottom line is this: they had him eating these protein blocks, as they call them.
No.
Protein blocks.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? And they were like a little warm, and they were like little gelatin kinda, but they were like little blocks that would eat and they would like be protein blocks. And eventually there was like a rebellion. This guy was fighting up to the front of the train because the peasants kept in the back of it. And eventually he got to like the section where the protein blocks is made. And bro, when he opened up
Was it people?
The little vault thing with the thing spinning, picture like that thing with a cement truck, that little cylinder that be spinning. Picture that spinning. He opened it up, nothing but roaches in there.
Oh no.
And when he opened that up, bro, he was like, closed it. He said, "This is what I've been eating the whole time."
No.
And the guy picked one of the blocks up off the line. He's like, "I ate him too," and he ate one. And he ate one of the blocks. You know what I mean? He was like, "Fuck out of here!" And like, wait, man, what a guy. He was like, "I've been eating roaches this whole time," and it's just like,
I can't. No.
And that killed me, bro. But at the same time, I can't deny the math. They're like, listen, insects are easy to breed.
I guess.
They breed a lot. They do have protein and nutrients.
But it's a roach.
But it's an insect.
But it's a roach.
How you did it?
So like I was like, here's a handful of ants. Like just regular, here's some ants that I found walking around outside my house. Would you eat them? Or would you? Okay, that or a roach.
I'd rather eat ants than a roach.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a hierarchy.
But grasshoppers are better than I'd rather eat grass. I don't mind them. I mind eating the grasshopper. I don't know why. But I grasshoppers are the most probably inviting insect to probably eat for me. You know what I mean? Other than like
maybe like a worm.
That was going to be my next one.
Just because like you're basically, it's a gummy worm. It's like a real life gummy worm. You're kind of eating worms already.
Except the problem is things taste like what they eat.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had beets, you eat beets?
A couple, not often, because I don't like how they taste.
Beets taste like dirt. You can taste the soil like.
But you know what? So okay, let's say a worm tastes like dirt.
Like
that's fine.
Probably tastes like beets on steroids.
That's okay.
Tastes like straight Middle Earth.
Because we were all kids. We've had dirt in our mouths as kids. Yeah. You know? I mean, come on. We've all dated some questionable characters. We've had worse shit in our mouths.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm okay with a little dirt. A little dirt flavored gummy worm. That doesn't bother me.
It's a God made dirt and dirt don't hurt.
Thank you. I dug holes as a kid a lot. I could have been out there.
I'm from the flipping over rocks generation, right? Where I used to flip over rocks and watch the fucking squirm, see him run away. Like, ah! I used to make jokes like it's a whole little civilization under here. I used to like envision them being like, the sun. Like, you know what I mean? They were all under there for like 50 years or something. But the thing is that the funny thing is that I would flip a rock and watch all the little bugs crawl. I'd get a stick and poke in there, see the little weird ones come out. And then like 2 days later, I'd go flip the same rock, and them fuckers would be right back. They're like, fuck, he's back.
He came back.
And I would be amazed at like, how you guys just, I wonder, do you same fuckers just move over? Just like going back under the rock.
Yeah.
These creatures literally like living under the rocks. It's crazy.
That's like what we do when hurricanes come. People go right back to where they came from.
Yeah.
Some big ass dude is up there throwing water at us.
Yeah.
And watching us go right back to where we came from.
Yeah, that's never crazy for doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
We are crazy for that. That's nuts for you to do that. You're right about that. We go right back there. We just trap. But yeah, what you call it? Another one I have for you is who do you trust? Would you trust a car to drive itself?
No.
No?
No, not yet. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Because in my opinion, and I'm, not a smart man by any means, I feel like for that to work, all cars would have to be driving themselves, or at least have the capability. So then, you don't get somebody who's driving too slow or too fast or gets over, that variable, the human variable. We're the X factor in all of it.
Yeah.
other than that, like let's say, infrastructure and everything was there, that's fine. That's fine.
But
Drive
like,
me
but
from
you
A
want
to
the
B.
option, don't you? Like, 'cause
I
feel
would,
like
yes, I would. So I would still like the option too, of course, which would make
flip
that
this bitch
hard.
in the man, you be able to drive.
Yeah, so that would be hard to do. I don't really care. I think it would help a lot of people.
Would you be willing to give up driving as a thing that humans do?
As a whole, yes. Personally, no. I would still like to drive, not all the
You're
time.
gonna have your old school. You flip over your garage. You still got your analog. You get old. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I still want to get out there.
Will Smith with the motorcycle during
yeah, exactly.
during iRobot.
Yep,
They
right.
can't hack this.
I mean, yeah.
And motorcycles, honestly, because of the low amount of computers on them, because even modern day cars, even if you got like some shit from 2015, 2016, it's got a computer on there. They might be able to hack it if they really wanted to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you'd have to go like back to the 80s, give or take, to get rid of the majority of...
To really be unhackable.
Because that would be old enough to where no one's really going to get into it, even if there is a computer on it. You know? 'Cause they didn't do a ton of talking to other computers.
Yeah.
So...
But a motorcycle is simple enough still.
Yeah.
Even still.
Even now, Yep.
Even still, we're like... Yeah, there's not a lot of... You're not hacking a motorcycle like that. You're not really hacking a motorcycle like that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got motorcycles with different GPS and different this and that, but it's nothing like these big, giant...
Yeah.
You got whole dashboards that are a display. And
Exactly.
You can't have that in a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's not there.
It's not there.
Which
There's
is
no need for all
good.
that.
That's part of the point.
So I still want to own a motorcycle. I want to own a motorcycle. I have my I Am Legend motorcycle there just in case. Because number one, it's super gas efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it can
is.
get you pretty fucking far,
Yep.
surprisingly. You know what I mean? And it can maneuver through the traffic. It's really good on you know what I mean? And you can just put some little blades on it, get your Armageddon on with the zombies, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You be ready to go. Get your little samurai sword, just driving by. You know what I mean? I'm retarded. Anyway, so politics. What are your thoughts on Project 2025? And it's all right. Before I get onto that, I'm gonna jump down to this question here because I wanted to know, how do you feel about the political climate right now in the country? And do you feel like a civil war could happen? Do you think that's overblown? How do you feel about the climate right now?
I don't think so. To go, we'll start with the Civil War version 2, Volume 2. I don't think it's any more or less possible than 4 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. Is it possible? I guess anything's possible. Do I think it's probable? Absolutely not. I think it's just a lot of people blowing smoke and talking tough, behind a keyboard or in front of a screen. But I mean, let's be honest. Like it's a bunch of dudes with guns versus an actual army.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whichever side has the army is probably going to win.
Yeah.
So, I'm
That's
just
true.
saying.
That's true.
But, I've been hearing that kind of crap since 2016-ish? It's going to be it's going to be this and that. Get out of here with that.
There's this thing that I've seen. It was like a short little documentary expose, and it was about civil wars because there are other countries that have had civil wars. There are people that are alive that were alive during and before and after that civil war. And one of the things about the civil wars is that running theme is that nobody that lived through it, that saw it happen, thought it was no one saw it coming.
Right.
Almost no one. People thought no one saw it coming. No one really thought it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And they were all like wow, I can't believe that this is happening. You know what I mean? But they called it that's when they brought up that whole frog and water metaphor. You know what I mean? It's a society before a civil war is like a frog in water most times.
Yeah.
Where they say a frog in boiling water doesn't know that it's being cooked.
Right.
So they said it's just saying society at 211 degrees Fahrenheit. Water boils at 212.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're like at 211 Fahrenheit, the frog is still alive and the water is technically not boiling yet. You know what I mean? But it's 1 degree from the frog dying and the water boiling. But it's at 211 right now.
Yeah, it's right there.
So the water's mostly still at the surface with a little bubbles here, but it's mostly still, and the frog's alive. You know what I mean? But yeah, 1 degree. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of people felt with this Trump assassination. Now, how do you attempt? So, how did you react to the Trump assassination?
I mean, so like live reaction, I didn't, because we were doing a family dinner, so we didn't have TV on or nothing, and this and that. And I was like, oh, jokingly, I said, oh, they missed. It's a joke. It's a joke. Just kidding. Just making that clear. I mean, whatever I feel about the guy doesn't really matter. Like, we're all human. Like, we're out here taking each other's lives. Like, whether it's street level or you're trying to shoot at a president or whatever. Like, we should be better than that. Yeah. So, did I feel sorry or bad? Not really. Did I feel good that happened? No, not at all. I mean, I didn't really feel one way or another about it, other than the human aspect of like, damn, a human tried to take another human's life, because that's really, the way I view politics is not left, right, blue, red, Republican, Democrat. I look at what do I believe in. Okay, we're talking about issue A. What do I believe in about issue A? So it's not, I like this person. Or I'm going to like whoever aligns with what
with the most,
Yeah, the most aligning of what I feel is the most important.
So you're not like adopting a whole philosophy.
No, and I don't think anybody should.
You're making it depending on how you feel about each issue.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be personally. It's like, I shouldn't be Democrat no matter what. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be a Republican through and through. It should be you look at the person and what they're going to represent. What are they doing? What do they say they? That's how it should be. But unfortunately, it's not. It's very divided.
When people get caught up in identity politics and feel like that's like when Joe Biden feels bold enough on the Breakfast Club to say some shit like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You know what I mean? Like, listen, bud, listen. Listen, I don't know. You might have ran with Obama, but you're not Obama. Though.
Right. Just because you stood next to him doesn't mean.
Yeah, dog. Relax, partner. You know what I'm saying? But So how do you feel about Trump as a candidate? How do you feel about him?
I'm not a fan.
Why?
I mean, to put it. So my biggest thing is the first time he ran. Mm-hmm. What was that? 16.
Yeah.
So first time he ran at 16, a lot of people around me were saying, oh, he'll be good because he's not a career politician. It's not what he's done to make his money. He's an outsider. He'll come in. He'll change stuff. He's a successful businessman, blah, 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 blah. Then he gets in office and he basically just, in my opinion, shows his ass for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, he just kind of gets up there and he, swings his little dick around. And, and he's like, look at me. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be representing the entire country. And I didn't feel like he was representing me properly. I didn't vote in that election, full disclaimer, because I didn't like any of the candidates. So if I don't like any of the candidates, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to put my support behind anybody I don't like. Yeah. So I just felt like I wasn't like, I didn't want, and a lot of it really, it came down to like, in my opinion, I felt like he was acting like a middle schooler. Like just a lot of the stuff he would say and do, I just kind of was like, I looked at it and I went, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're supposed to be the adult in the room and like lead the country and do all this stuff. And I feel like you're not.
Like little, there was this one scene with him like trying to make sure he was walking in front of like the French guy. He was like, shoulder.
Yeah, he's like doing little little
kid games and shit.
Or like they had the one where him shaking everybody's hands and he's like yanking them in and like trying to like, when guys do that, they squeeze your hand real hard to try and show how tough they are. Like, he was doing all kinds of dumb shit like that, and I'm like, buddy, nobody's gonna like you. Nobody's gonna play with you on the global scale.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just feel like there's people that just say things just to get a rise out of people. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he is or not, but like that's just how he comes off to me.
Okay.
Is he just says shit just to like piss people off.
Yeah.
Or he says shit just to say it because he can.
He do be flying over the mouth a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. You got to kind of
that's part of why I like some things, you know what I mean? Because I do feel like he's a bit more authentic of a communicator than most politicians, whether it's to his detriment or not. You know what I mean? Because other politicians just feel like they're so calculated and make so little mistakes that I don't know how you really feel about fucking anything.
Yeah.
And I think I believe in that 2016 election. I feel like I voted for Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? But I voted first for Bernie Sanders before Hillary Clinton. I ain't wanted Hillary Clinton. I wanted Bernie Sanders. You know what I'm saying? That was in that election too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Bernie Sanders broke my political heart, bro. Bernie Sanders was the last time I had real hope in a candidate where I was like, he gonna stand for the people. He gonna maybe change some shit. He's talking out against the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was because I wanted Sanders and Obama. I feel like those are the last two.
Yeah,
but,
bro.
I mean, what? We weren't old enough to vote for Obama.
Yeah, I voted for Obama the second time.
Second time
but
around,
the first time I couldn't. You know what I mean? And then later on, I just was disappointed in him over.
right. After
I was still young. I was young in my political career, so I was like, Obama, yeah. And then I got a little old, and I was like, he didn't really do what I thought he was gonna. Like,
you know what though? I'm not mad at him.
But he's still like, at least he did a good enough job where like the country didn't feel like we can't never have another black president. The country doesn't feel that way. So he did a good enough job where there will be a second black president if America can survive long enough. But yeah, he didn't do what I wanted him to do for real. Like, you know what I mean? But as far as this one here dealing with Trump and Hillary, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted a candidate that was for the people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's really hard to get. And my problem with Bernie Sanders, why he broke my heart, I remember, was because he and at the end of the day, started endorsing Hillary after he dropped out of the race. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and he's just the same reason why he pissed me off is the same reason why this Kennedy pisses me off. You know what I mean? I appreciate this Kennedy candidate, you know what I mean? In race and all of that, but once again, it's too nice. You refuse to throw a punch. You think you're going to get the highest office in the land without throwing a punch? That's crazy. So you running against Hillary Clinton, the most connected, corrupt motherfucker ever, and you're Bernie Sanders running off the people's money, and you don't got the balls to really just call around on her shit for real. You like doing it with kick gloves. Well, I'm just saying, she shot the people, and she shot the donors, and I said the minutes, like, but you're not really, you ain't really saying it for real. You just like, you was like skating around it. You know what I mean?
You know what? I like it, but I don't like. I hate because. What I hate the most about how the elections is all it is it's not what I'm going to do for you. It's look what the other guy is not. Look at the other guy. He's bad. Look at all the bad shit that guy's doing.
That's what Democrats do.
They all do it. Every single one. I mean, even the commercials now. Every goddamn commercial now is a political one. You got ones from Trump's side going, oh, look how bad Kamala is. Look at da-da-da-da. And now you're getting them from her where it's all, look how bad Trump is. Well, no, I want to know what you're going to do. What is your platform? Exactly. What are you going to do for me? Why are you not using these dollars and this TV time to tell me what you're going to do?
Exactly.
Don't tell me how bad the other guy is. Tell me what you're going to do. And nobody does that. Everybody's too worried about attacking the other guy.
Well,
I don't know what either of them are going to do. I just know what the other one says about them.
Speaking of what they're going to do, because I'm going to address that exact point. Speaking of what they're going to do, because I do feel like Democrats do that more than Republicans. Just because I feel like Democrats fearmonger more. Like, for example, when it was Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, it was like, he's racist, he's going to do everything. It's just fear. And it's the same thing that got Biden elected. Like, I don't think people voted for Biden as much as they voted against Trump. You know what I mean? Like, Biden doesn't inspire you to want to do shit. It's just like you were like mad at Trump or like against Trump. You didn't want Trump to win again. All right, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, once again, we got Trump versus Kamala. You know what I mean? Like, dog, really they're just using the fear of what Donald Trump's second presidency, because who the fuck is being won over by Kamala? You know what I mean? Like, all right. So another thing I had here was I can get into that. But my problem is this: debate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should be allowed to take office, any office in America, really, without debating your opponent. Like, debate is so, you can't sit down in front of the person that you swear you're better than positioned for and discuss your vision for the like, you can't debate. You don't want to debate? That's crazy to me, that you don't deserve the office. You're not willing to fight for it.
No,
you're willing to
I
sit
agree
down
with
and
that.
talk about why you're a better. You can't do that. That's so basic to me, bro. That the fact that Americans don't demand that of their candidates is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, you can't stand in front of your opponent and debate him about whatever subject, whatever thing. That's just crazy to me. You know, that's just crazy to me. Now,
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about debates in the election process? You know what I'm saying? Do you ever watch them? Does it weigh into how you feel about them? How do you feel about debates in the election process?
I like them. I think they should stay. I think what goes on in the debates now is not a debate. It's basically just, hey, let's sit up here for 2 hours and make fun of each other for a while, you know. Because I watched the last debate, and I was very underwhelmed from everyone there. I mean, both Trump and Biden, like, they basically just sat there and made fun of each other. Oh, you're too old. Oh, you're a liar. Oh, you know, Sleepy Joe this. Oh, you know, convicted felon that. Whatever. Like, that's not. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to hear, you're not even answering the questions half the time. So, do I want there to be debates? Yeah. But I want them to actually debate what they're there to debate for, not this bull crap. We're just going to sit
Tit
and make
for tat.
Yeah, do this little bullshit tit for tat stuff,
yeah.
because that's not helping nobody.
I feel that's.
I walked away with that, and I was like, wow, I don't want to vote for anyone. I'm gonna fucking write in Mickey Mouse. I don't know what you want me to do.
I feel you on that.
You know?
Feel you on that. All right, so speaking of people not presenting their things, so there was mad fear mongering around this Project 2025 thing. You know what I mean? And this is a question that I had because I was like, all right, as I read some of Project 2025, did some research on it a little bit, and I was like, sure, some of it is out of box, like some of it is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is a detailed plan of what they plan to do, how they plan to implement it, each policy, each set, like talking about what you plan to do. Now, apparently, this wasn't made by Trump, and Trump doesn't necessarily endorse this whole thing. This was made by major donors of the Republican Party and by the. So this is more the Republican Party's plan that they hope whatever presidential candidate is there would adopt and help them fulfill, more than Trump's plan. You know what I mean? But the Democrats are just pretending like it's one and the same. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm not so sure that it's not. But at the same time, I know that there's some things in there that Trump wouldn't try to do. But there's some things in there that I think he has adopted and tried to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for example, one thing is destroying the Department of Education on a federal level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wants to return the Department of Education to the states. Like, let it be the states that less than I don't know how I feel about that. I've thought about that a lot. But how do you feel about just hearing that? Like, so there's a federal Department of Education over the states. Like, how do you feel about getting rid of the idea of getting rid of the federal Department of Education?
I'm not a big fan of that one, specifically since that's what we're talking about. Because I think what that should do is set a minimum level, right? Instead of power to the states and this and that. All right, that's whatever. But when it comes to educating the youth and educating the next generation of doctors and lawyers and politicians and school teachers and on and on and on, we should be giving them the best we can.
Yeah.
So I think there should be a federal Department of Education, And that should set a minimum bar. Like, hey.
And then above that, if states want to.
If the states want to go above that because they can or they want to, perfect. But you have to minimum meet, whatever the criteria is for each level, reading, spelling, math, blah, 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 down the line. That should be the bottom. That should be the low thing to hit.
I can see.
And then if the states want to go above it, that's what I think, that's how it should be operated.
I could agree. But as it is right now, the State Department, federal, it exists. And let me tell you something. As a person who has experienced New York education versus my little sister is the greatest example I have of this because she was born in Brooklyn, but she went to school for I never forget, the first couple of years she went to school in Detroit.
Yeah.
And no. She started in New York, went to school in Detroit for like a year or two. And then 1 year we moved back to New York for a year.
Yeah.
It was a crucial year. It was like her really beginning in her early school shit. And I remember she couldn't really read much or that well at all. And no one in her class could really read. When she went to New York for that 1 year, we moved back. She learned how to read in that 1 year.
Yeah.
She was reading. She progressed a lot in that 1 year. And when we went back to Detroit for that, she basically went back to that same school she left. She could read. None of her classmates could read. Still in that same year going back. Yeah. So she was like, wow. In my mind, I was like, that's crazy. I'm like, so y'all was in the same school, in the same grade, and y'all was all at the same level. You went to New York for 1 year. And in that year, you learned how to read. You came back, and they was in Detroit for that same year, and you were way above them in education, and they were in their same. And to me, I'm like, when I talk about regencies to pass high school, I had to take an English regents, a math regents, a science regents. There's 2 science regencies and a history regents, like a state regents, like outside of you getting your credits for your classes or going to classes. Like, if you don't pass these state exams, no diploma.
Yeah.
So you can have a 90 in every single one of your classes, did everything. If you don't pass these state exams, no diploma.
Right.
I remember.
Right. But it worked. Obviously, it's doing something right.
Yeah.
Because she went back for the 1 year and came back and was above everybody that was in her same grade.
I had seen that. So I was like, all right. So at the same time, I'm like, there's already a bit of a discrepancy to me between educational standards between and even in New York City, because I remember like to pass a test in a public school in New York City, you needed to get a 65 on a test at least 65 and you could pass. But in Catholic school and private school, that was a 75 and you could pass. They raised it up so you had to. So I remember when I first heard about that, even when I was in high school, I was like, that's crazy. That's obviously. They gotta be better because
right. They
gotta be held to a higher
Yeah.
standard. You gotta be, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, that's crazy. Even in New York, the difference is there. I was like, damn, maybe if I was pushed a little harder, maybe I could have been a little better.
And that's it. Know. I mean, I was in private school. I was in Catholic school from preschool to 5th grade.
Wow.
And when my first year in public school, 6th grade, I was blowing everybody out of the water. With different stuff. I mean, They made me take, some tests and whatever to kind of see where I was at. And the lady, I'll never forget this, was like, she's looking at it. And, I'm beginning of 6th grade. She goes, you have the reading comprehension of an 11th grader.
Yeah.
In the beginning of 6th grade. That's, 5 years worth of school ahead. And I mean, I attribute it to the private school. Yeah.
Private school.
Because, I mean, even like in that private school, if you got like a C+ or B-, they looked like they frowned on that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you didn't do good. You weren't doing good.
Yeah.
And like even like they called my mom one time because I got a couple of C's on some stuff. And they're like, yeah, he's not doing so good in school and blah, 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 blah. And she's looking, she's like, well, one's a C+, one's a B-, and one's a C. Like, what's wrong with that? Well, that's just not good. She's like, well, C is average. And a B is slightly above average. So he's not, and I'm in, who knows, 4th grade, whatever. Like, what 4th grade is going to sit there all day and do tests and whatever. But I'm like, even that. And then going to public school, it was such a big difference. And then, like, I felt as I got older and I got into high school, like, I was learning less and less.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I got used to
the speed and you got lax a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is like nobody
easier.
Yeah, this is easier. Nobody's breathing over my shoulder.
They're not challenging me as much. They're not on my ass
exactly.
as much.
I wasn't challenged, so then my grades started to slip. And then oh, you're not doing so good. Well, because I wasn't challenged.
Yeah.
At least at private school, they pushed. They pushed and they challenged.
And it gets the better out of you. It gets better out of
you.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what we need to push the kids a little bit. And I think that's where like a federal Department of Education would say, hey, listen, you have to minimum do blah, 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 X, Y, and Z to push these kids a little. Because kids are fucking smart, man.
Yeah, but if you don't apply this whole philosophy with trying to coddle them, though, make them go through no hardship, like when hold sports games with no score and shit.
That, no kid left behind. Well, if the kid isn't getting it, you're only hurting the kid.
Exactly. You got to hold these standards. You got to help. Yeah, that shit.
Hold him back a year. Help him out. Get him some summer school. Something. Help him out.
You might need that. Don't just push him through.
Yeah.
So he could be a grown idiot.
He's just going to get worse every year, and you're going to keep pushing him through.
And every year that you don't know shit you're supposed to know feels worse and worse. Yes. You feel more embarrassed trying to obtain the knowledge.
Yep.
Because
it's harder to ask for help as you get older.
Exactly.
Oh, you should have learned that 3 years ago.
You should have learned. And now you're like, so it makes you not want. It's difficult. It's really a bad rabbit hole because it keeps compounding the fucking problem.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So but I don't. I as much as I agree with that, I don't know if the federal Department of it because in general, I understand the Republican idea what they're trying because they're not wrong about one thing. That I agree that government spending has grown too much. I think the government has gotten too big and too private, and I think the government needs to shrink somehow.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
The government needs to shrink, which means that we need to spend less money. We either need to shrink departments, get rid of departments, or find ways to make departments more efficient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the amount of tax money that's being spent and being allocated towards this thing is not, I don't feel like the American people are getting the best bang for their buck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And as much as they're all about auditing the American people, when you got the Pentagon saying that like $1 trillion,
I don't know where it went.
What the fuck you mean you don't know?
How do you lose $1 trillion?
That's crazy. Y'all not allowed to charge me another tax dollar till you figure out where $1 trillion of them went.
Mm-hmm.
Like to me, the fact that we will sustain that loss as the American people getting money out of it, like, nah, we need to hold a lot more accountability to where our tax dollars is going.
No,
you know what I mean?
That I agree with.
We can't just be having shit shelling out, you know what I mean? And meanwhile, I need that money, man. On my check, I could use it.
Right,
You know what I mean? That extra 10%, maybe I could put a little more to my 401k. You know what I mean? Which is how I'm going to help buy my house in a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all taking all my money and sending it to goddamn Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And they're running off in Bugattis. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just terrible. You know what I mean? All right. So, what do you think is the biggest problem facing America right now?
Oh man, that's a tough one. It depends on, who you're asking, and like you mean America as a country, or like as the people.
Both. Like
both.
If you could find yes, as you would say yes.
Okay. Yes.
if you could find one problem to solve in America that you think would solve a lot of problems, what problem would you solve?
I would try to solve the problem of the government fighting itself. So your left and your right, nobody's working together. So a lot of stuff doesn't get done. And instead of working together as the American people, including the government, to do what's best for all of us as a country, you get a lot of fighting back and forth, and people end up just doing what's best for themselves.
Yeah.
On any level, city, state, county, federal, whatever. So just trying to find a way to kind of get everybody on the same page to work together towards the same goals that we all want. Yeah. We all want to make money. We all want to be happy. We all want to be safe. On and on and on. Okay, so how can we all work together to do that instead of, well, my plan's going to work, your plan sucks.
Yeah.
So you're terrible and I'm great and we're going to do it my way. everybody's probably got good ideas, you know?
Yeah.
So that would be my cop-out answer of how to answer that.
You would say you try to figure out a way to bring the two together.
Bring everybody together to work towards, you know, just a better
The division.
Yeah, get rid of the division.
My thing would be, I think, is which I agree with that, but I think the major thing that keeps dividing us, because most of us do want what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there's a nefarious group of people that don't necessarily want all of that cooperation.
Like the Illuminati?
Yeah, and they do things to specifically sow dissent and division amongst the people. You know what I mean? And do things on purpose to make us dependent against each other. You know what I mean? So that's why I like debate, because my number one thing is I want money out of politics.
Yeah.
I want politics to be about ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be about ideas and policies. I don't want it to be about who has the bigger microphone.
Right. Who has the deeper pockets.
Deeper pockets.
Yep. Yeah.
Because money is not that just means who's big, because that I don't want you buying the politicians, bro.
No.
I don't want you buying who has the bigger donation thing and that. And honestly, today, that's how you get recognized as a candidate. Like, if you want to get in a candidate, if I want to go run for city council, some shit right now, there's a dollar amount, the threshold, either a certain amount of donors, a certain amount of signatures, a certain amount of this I got to get like there's not. It's not just like a debate. Signatures I agree with. Signatures I can agree with. You know what I'm saying? But a donor amount, I have to raise $1 million before. What does money have to do with my ideas?
Why do I need money to be a good person for the
support
community?
of the people isn't enough. If I go to the community and make effective, and the community supports me, and I get whatever 1,000, 2,000, whatever 5,000 signatures, whatever signature. All right, I'll do the work in the community to get the signatures. Yeah. That's footwork. That's work. That's something I could do. Convincing people door to door. I can wrap my head around having to get signatures. I could do that. But money, $1 million, like, come on, dog. Come on, man. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think like even to go off of that and go a step further, I think that what they should do is not do donors for, you know, presidents, senators, whatever the big ones, right?
If government funded
give them a set amount. You get $5 million or $10 million worth. That's it. That's all you get. You spend it how you want.
Yeah, that's
up to you. Don't ask for more. You're not getting more. You're not allowed to get donations. You're not allowed to have people pay for it.
But I think what they would do is they would fuck up. They would find, because there's a way you gotta qualify to be a worthy candidate, to be given that government campaign money.
Yeah.
To do the campaign to get the. So they probably would.
Somebody would find a way to fuck it up. They'll always find a way to get around it for sure. They always do. That's how they get into politics. That's what being a politician is.
It's terrible.
But at least then it's you can make the argument that it's more about the ideas and not about who has the most money to buy the most ad space.
I heard a 19-year-old. No, he was 21. He said this and he acknowledged this. And it's one of the major reasons why I was thinking of voting for the Kennedy guy. It's literally the only reason why I was thinking of voting for the Kennedy guy. And I was never this way before until fucking COVID. But I heard a 21-year-old say this, and he said, I swear fucking everyone has autism today. You know what I mean? And he was talking about how people know he has autism, whatever. He's a young kid. You know what I mean? And I said to him, see, Kennedy's the only one talking about how he feels like autism is connected to vaccines. You know what I mean? He says, like, there's more vaccines now than because you know what he says, and I agree with you. Can't deny this. What he said is, how many grandparents do you know with autism?
I think a lot of it's undiagnosed. They didn't give a shit about none of that back in the day. They were too busy, you know, fighting Hitler and fucking in the bench seat to care about, you know what I mean? So, yeah, you could make that argument, but I think a lot of it goes back to, you know, and I'm not saying one way or another, because I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist.
I don't know either.
I think a lot of it is. Nobody checked for it. Yeah. You know, nobody
that is true too. They weren't looking
for it. Yeah. You know, they didn't have the medical technology to look for a lot of stuff.
I agree.
Or they didn't care.
That's the same thing.
You know?
It's the same thing how I learned that right now, like, I don't know what they used to think caused dementia and shit like that, and Alzheimer's and stuff like that. But now the new way that they're understanding that is diabetes.
I saw that.
They're calling that's really diabetes of the brain.
Yep.
You know
it's
what
like
I mean?
preventing blood something. I forget what it was, but I remember
but
that.
But now they're understanding that to be diabetes of the brain. You know what I mean? That causes that. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And I was just thinking about the mental game. You know what I mean? And these, like I said, the vaccines. What most gets me tight is that, like he said, because I was watching this one thing, he was just like, bro, I'm not saying it's either or. I'm just saying I want the studies to be done.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you figure it out. It's like, is this thing safe or not? Let's do the studies.
Yeah.
The results from the studies.
We should absolutely do studies and figure it out.
And he's like, when I investigate the studies, I can't find them.
Right.
Or there's like blockades behind it, or they haven't done them, or this, that, and it's like, even with the COVID vaccines, there's supposed to be studies produced right now that are mandatory and released to the public, and they don't exist right now.
Yeah.
The very last thing that they said they had to release was like, it was communications between two, like, I don't know, vaccine people or whatever the hell, but bottom line, it was 170 like something pages, and it was all redacted. Like literally, if it was 170 pages, all 170 pages were like black, black. And he was like, and there was in the Congress meeting, the thing that was like, how you gonna give us a document of 172 pages of all black shit? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And and to me, it's like, I don't know what those communications was about, but my common sense tells me if that painted them in a good light, it wouldn't be redacted. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they blanked it all out was because it didn't paint them in a good light. It didn't paint them in a good light, or told too many secrets that were vital to their monetization or whatever. But either way, it wasn't because it was painting them, it was all peaches and rainbows. It was just so beautiful. They couldn't bear to tell you how great it was turning out. Like, no, that's not what the fuck that's not what the fuck happened.
No, I'm sure there's some shit in there that would have blacked it out.
Every page.
There wasn't one page you found that was okay to put up.
So this COVID thing is one of the reasons why I think they're trying to usher in the World War III is because this vaccine with this vaccine thing, there's a lot of studies from a lot of different countries. The way they fucked up with this, in my opinion, was this is too widespread. If they just did this in America, it'd be easier to cover up. But you gave like 1 billion motherfuckers this vaccine. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to cover up. If there was a side effect, there was problems. If y'all didn't test it, which y'all didn't. If y'all rushed it out, which y'all did. You know what I mean? Like, if there's side effects happening, which they literally had to do something with it. They buried the article, but they recalculated excess deaths in the UK. Like, the way they calculate excess deaths, because there were way more excess deaths after the vaccine. You know what I mean? And as much as they want to contribute it to COVID and fucking shit up, and like, oh, it messes. But they were like, well, how come countries that are in Africa that were too poor to afford the vaccine are fine? You know what I mean? Like, they're fine. They're like, their mortality didn't go all the way up. They didn't dying at a higher rate. They're pretty much the way they were. They had a couple little hiccups, but they're pretty much the way and there's a couple, I think it was, I want to say New Zealand or Australia. There was one of other country, I forgot which one, but they basically didn't change how they did shit at all during COVID. And they performed like great, like better than, like, you know what I mean? Like, the natural immunity happened, like, because that's none of the, they got to the point in America where they were even trying to say that natural immunity wasn't better than the vaccine. And it's like, that's obviously not true. That's not how things work. If I survived the actual disease, you know, I survived it. You know, I got immunity from it. That's not your artificial version of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. The point is, this whole vaccine thing, the whole conversation on it was shut down. You know what I mean? They weren't allowed to. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
They weren't allowed to talk about it at all, and so many things that were conspiracies in the beginning were then found out. Like, everyone that said it was made in the lab was basically a tinfoil hat maniac. And then now in Congress, they were saying, yeah, we believe it was made in the lab in Wuhan. And I was like, wow, Wow. And y'all talk about how it's going to stop transmission, and then it still didn't stop transmission. Like, there was just so many examples of y'all saying one thing and then actually being another. And everyone who said that it was another in the beginning had their channels taken. Everyone shut down. It was misinformation on every posting. But y'all never, there's no retribution. Like, to me, COVID is one of the biggest examples of, like, how all the mainstream media can attach on to one idea and refuse to let it go. Like, just refuse no matter what happens. Like, just refuse. Like, the lockdowns weren't good for the economy. They weren't good for the immune. They weren't good. It wasn't a good solution. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have been better without the lockdowns. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the American people, I don't know. How you feel about this study? Let me give you this one study. Let me react to this. So they had a study, where the CIA did the study. They had 18 people in the room. 17 of them were CIA agents. Only one of them was a regular guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing a triangle. Jajo, it was like this. It was a triangle. It's a triangle.
Yeah.
They showed it to 17 people, agents first. You know what the agent said? Square. It's a square. It's a square. It's a square. It's a square. And when they got to the 18th guy who didn't know he was the only person in the room that wasn't an agent, and they showed him a fucking triangle, do you know what he said it was?
Circle.
A square. Because he's like,
Fine.
And that to me is what happened with a lot of this mainstream stuff. It's like, listen, man, everyone's saying it's a triangle. I mean, it's a square. I'm gonna say it's a square, even though I'm looking at it like, nigga, that's definitely a triangle. but like, I don't want to fight these guys. I don't want to go through all of that. And I feel like today's world is raising a bunch of men and people that are gonna say square instead of saying triangle.
I mean, I guess I will disagree about, vaccines and their usefulness for sure. I think they're very useful. That's why we don't have.
They've saved many lives.
Yeah, that's why we don't have a lot of the diseases we had 20 years ago, even. Because I know people that just don't have their kids get vaccinated. I'm like, how are those poor kids? Like, whatever you believe, but like, that's your kid. You should be doing what's in the best interest for their health. Do I think the vaccine was rushed? Yeah, because it was. I mean, you had the whole world, but flip side of the coin, you had everybody in the world that works on vaccines working on just that one thing.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's going to speed it up, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm building a house by myself, it's going to take a long time. But if me and 20 of my friends are building a house, it's going to get done a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm sure there's side effects. Like, there's going to be side effects. You take fucking Tylenol and they're like, it might give you diarrhea and you might lose 10 of your teeth. And your foot might fall off too. But hey, you won't have that headache anymore. It's a good trade.
True.
That's the only like thing I would say is like, you look at any medicine, it's going to have side effects. And I mean, you could say the vaccine, let's just say for sake of argument, it did kill people.
Yeah.
Or it caused something to cause that person to. They might have passed anyway, right? So it's kind of that morality choice of you've got two train tracks. One person is tied to track A. 3 people are tied to track B. Train's coming. You can't stop it. All you can do is pick which track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
So which do you save, the single person, the one person, or the 3 people? I think that's what, obviously.
I feel you on that.
I think that's what some
decision.
of it is.
Some of those is tough decisions. I feel you on that sometimes.
I think they picked, okay, well, we're going to run over the one person to save the 3. I think that's kind of what a lot of that is. Okay, we're going to do what's good for the most amount of people. Yes, we understand it's not going to be perfect for everybody, but we do what we can. And that's what I think happened. I mean, obviously, we don't know, but that's what I think. They just did what they could with what they could.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't seen anything like this. When was the last time something
not in my lifetime.
Right,
this is
swept across the country,
shit.
let alone the
whole world.
So they were like,
Crazy.
what do we do? And then they just kind of did the best they could.
I agree.
Is it perfect? No.
But I also think that, all right, I could forgive them for what they had to do in the moment.
Yeah.
All right, but that moment was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So in trying to prepare for the next possible pandemic and trying to, I think that anything less than the absolute thorough examination of the vaccine side effects, its implementation, how the lockdown affected economies and affected, like, we have to examine every aspect to learn from our mistakes.
I agree. That
You know
I
what
agree
mean?
with 100%.
So can we get tests to see how safe was the vaccine? How safe? Because to me, it's like, you can't just get mad at people for asking questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm just have questions, I just want to make sure that all right, we did this. I agree with you. This is one of the first times we had to deal with this. This is a lot of people's first global thing. Even the doctors, even the experts were like, this is the first time I had to actually apply my expertise at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, before this, it was all in theory. You know what I mean? In a textbook in history, the Spanish flu, this, back in the day. Now it's like here, right now. So I understand that that's different. You know what I'm saying? But now that you went through it, can we examine it? Can we learn from it? Can y'all stop trying to, like? But I feel like if they did make a mistake, there's too much. They can't. I don't know if they would admit making a mistake.
That
I don't
would be
know
the
if they
problem.
would admit. The problem is,
You'd have to admit, hey.
yeah, like, listen, and maybe you might have to pay a little bit. Listen, y'all made billions, if not trillions of dollars during this pandemic. So maybe you might have to just spend a little, cough up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like, the lack of willingness to examine what the fuck happened, the lack of willingness to have the studies really be transparent is what worries me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think they should. You should be willing to go back and go, okay, let's look at how did the lockdowns affect everything? How did this, and this
and
affect?
to be honest,
to then learn in case it happens again.
Exactly.
You know, what if this thing mutates again and now nothing works?
Exactly.
Well, okay, we went through it once. How can we make it better this time?
Exactly. That's
I
all
agree
I'm
with
saying.
that.
That's all I'm saying. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, before I just give you a bunch of nefarious, like, of course, some overlords that want to shrink the population, this, that, they want to do this, that.
Right,
You know
the
what I
lizard
mean?
people,
Yeah,
Illuminati
yeah.
shit.
Before I do all that, I'm like, all right, bro, like, you right. It did just happen. People dealing with it. But just show me that you're trying to learn from your mistakes and trying to get better. You know what I mean? And I could leave it alone. But y'all trying to bury articles, act like nothing happened, scoot it along, moving down the road like, nah. Y'all need to examine what happened.
Yeah.
I can't just try to move on, distract people, just move on.
Right, let's back it up and take a look.
No, chill. You know what I'm saying? And think about also how y'all monitored or censored information during that time.
Yeah.
Think about that, how everyone that was opposite of the narrative at the time was, like I said, had banners put underneath their content, everything. And how a lot of those theories were now then proven later right. And there was no real retribution. There was no, like, you know, so next time it happens, allow the free marketplace of ideas to exist. You know what I mean? Don't just go try to shut down one person, one idea so much. Don't try, like relax. You know what I mean? Like, let the free market of ideas and debate exist. Let people ask questions. You know what I mean? Because there was just some people asking questions or trying to explore an alternative solution, and they were demons. They were like, whoa, how dare you say anything else but the vaccine is going to work? You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we getting to the point. I have to take a pee break. But what? Let me see. I got past that part. We about to get into the ChatGPT segment of the podcast. All right, so sit tight. I'm gonna take a quick pee break. I'm gonna be right back, and we're gonna talk about ChatGPT. This is about the economy because I feel like, well, I'm gonna save that for the section. Tune in. All right, just give me 1 second. Be right back.
Yeah.
Some guidance. It's really positive. It's positive as fuck. And,
Yeah, I dig that.
And he has like a couple mentees. He says that he been like looking over from when they went to middle school, like helping through high school.
Yeah.
And they graduated doing this and that. You know what I mean? He want to have them on here to tell their story. You know what I mean? Tell their story about they might have started in foster care, a couple of them, and went to the Navy and stuff.
That'd be sweet.
And just went from the bottom, started from the bottom, from the rough life, and made it to the top, baby.
Hell yeah.
But alright, time for this hoe online. Here we go. More nuts. How much protein?
Not enough, probably.
11. Not bad. Man, I got my water. I can't chew on the pot mics.
Sitting here with a mouthful of peanuts, just.
I want to do that too. Those Prime energy drinks hit, bro.
Do they? I've never had the Prime ones.
I don't like Logan Paul, but
Right. Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo, but is what it is.
but I work a lot of hours and I can't discriminate when it comes to effective energy drinks.
You still working both jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
And he made an effective energy drink. He did.
All right.
Yeah, I'm dying, bro. I'm a zombie. But it's
Fuck that.
So you see, it says ChatGPT 4.0.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be creme de la creme. Here we go. All right, we're back. First of all, did you hear about the did you watch any of the ChatGPT thing that I had sent you?
I did. I actually watched almost the whole thing.
Almost all. I tried to get you to skip.
Yeah. I skipped like the intro, but I watched all the tech demo,
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff when they were doing it.
Well, what do you think about it?
Dude, that's wild. That's wild. I played with ChatGPT a little bit, like when it first was becoming big.
I had to type to it.
Yeah, had to type in what I wanted, and it was real basic. Didn't really do a great job of getting me answers for stuff I wanted. I haven't played with it or messed with it much in the last couple of iterations, so it's coming along quite a bit.
Yeah, and I know that I could feel it in my soul that like the level that it's at now. Because they say ChatGPT 4 came out in like 2023. And I know because I was talking to it. And it told me, I asked it. So it was like between ChatGPT 2 and 3, it was like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Between ChatGPT 1 and 2, it was like maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So roughly about 1.5 years to 2 years, 2.5 years between each iteration of Chat generation, which means that this one, according to me gathering it about talking to it, it said that roughly 2025, ChatGPT 5 should be ready to come out.
Man.
And ChatGPT 4 is already crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts everything it can do.
Like the one demo that really, and this one still can't do it. So even though it's 4.0, they're still slowly rolling out a lot of the features that they had in that demo. This is 4.0 that one that they showed, but it can only do so many things. Like, for example, the major thing that I loved about that demo was they had one where it was like the shit could see what's on your screen.
Yeah, I really like that.
It could see what's on your screen and analyze it. You know what I mean? I still don't think this thing can initiate conversation, which is what I want, to set timers. Because what I'm trying to use it for is like I edit clips, right? And sometimes the clips, the software, I got to wait for a second for it to buffer to get back ready to go. And sometimes I like doze off or get distracted or like I wanted my AI to be almost like a drill sergeant. I wanted to see me through the camera, see what I'm trying to do on the screen, see when I'm about to fuck off, see when I'm getting dosed, see when I'm getting distracted. But hey, remember this? Hey, how you doing? How's it coming?
Yeah.
And like keep me on, keep me engaged, talk to whatever, tell me a joke, whatever it's got to do to keep me engaged with the video editing and keep getting shit done to make me more productive. I wanted it to be like an AI companion.
Yeah.
And it sucked at that job because it couldn't see the screen yet.
Mm-hmm.
It can't see me through the camera. And even when I ask it, and it lies to you too, I'll be like, listen, can you talk to me? Remind me, like, I said, listen, every 7 minutes, ask me how I'm doing. Because it'll, like, I'm from those over, like, oh, how do I? I'll respond. I'll get back to active, whatever. It couldn't do that. I said, all right, give me 2 minutes. Just tell me in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It couldn't do it in 2 minutes. So I was like.
That was this one or the one before?
That was this one, I believe.
This one.
You know what I mean? So I was like, so you can't set timers. You can't, like, act in that way. But that's soon, probably.
I was going to say, yet. I'm sure it's coming quick.
Yeah. But if she could do what I want her to do like that, then she'll help me stay on task. It'll be like a real buddy there to help me. Like, hey, how's this going? Well, think about this. And I'll be like, hey, ChatGPT, listen to this clip. I'm done editing it. What do you think about it? Analyze it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I think it needs this. Change this one thing. I'm like, I know I'll do that. I don't just ideas, you know what I mean? So we got ChatGPT here today, you know what I'm saying? Like as a guest, like his busy schedule. ChatGPT got a real busy schedule, but I was able to put it onto the podcast because I'm him. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna ask her some questions. My homie JJ gonna ask her some questions. I'm gonna start with the technology and the effect on society first, something like that. But originally, I was gonna ask her about the economy because I found a great use case for this that I just discovered today. I asked it to tell me. I said, "Yo, tell me the top 5 news headlines that happened in the last 30 days, 14 days," and it told me, and it was some good headlines, and I was like, are you sure this happened? It's like, yeah, all of these, one of them, like, so and it said, for example, this one with Kamala just happened last week. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, as of August 2024. And I was like, okay. So as a news aggregator, to save me time from Googling, scrolling through this one's, like this is the major thing that's happened. I was like, and then I asked it, I said, what did I ask it about? I asked it about the economy. I said, give me top 5 company layoffs for U.S. companies. So I was trying to get an idea for the economy. And so I asked that. It told me mad article. It told, like, I was asking the questions. It was giving me if I was learning about the world because it could do it. Like, so anyway, I'm going to bring it in. So before I do, what worries you about AI? How do you feel about it? What questions do you think you would ask AI?
I have no idea. I would probably... Like, it would probably depend on what I'm doing. Like, if I have something going on that day and I need, I really wish I knew how to do something, right? And maybe it's hard to Google it. You don't know quite how to word it. It's hard when you're in a search bar to type out exactly what your question is to get the right results.
Yeah.
So, this might be able to tailor that a little bit more. But honestly, I don't know, like, what I would ask it, like, unless it was something specific. Like I wouldn't just be like, oh, hey, how you doing today? Like I wouldn't talk to it.
It could end in car mechanics, paid ones. Because what if you want to learn how to change your transmission or do something with the engine and you could show it on camera?
Yeah.
What it's looking at, like, oh, what I'm seeing here is this, that.
Yeah.
Just move this, that, and they could tell you, it could walk you through
You'd
it.
still have to have somebody to do it though.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna do it.
But if you got a computer telling you exactly what the fuck to do step by step,
it would
and
help.
looking at what you're doing and telling that piece, right? It'd be like this, no, this, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like,
honestly, that'd be helpful. It'd be real helpful, and from a school standpoint too. Because when I was going to school to learn how to do mechanic stuff, like it was hard getting the one teacher we had. You'd have 10 cars up on lifts, and you're all supposed to be working on something. And he's, over here, then over here, and well, I can't work on, I'm stuck because I'm learning this for the first time. I don't know,
exactly.
So yeah, I could see it helping with that kind of stuff. Yeah. Educational, like with that, like practical educational stuff.
I heard a professor, one guy that I fuck with, you know what I mean? I hear Jordan Peterson. He was talking about how he was using AI, talking to it. He said, and he's like a professor. He's like very educated. He said he gives it the equivalent of like a human with like a master's degree. That's what he said. As far as like it's intelligence to bounce ideas off of, you know what I mean? And he's like, it's useful in that regard. He was like, it helped him iron out some of his ideas, you know what I mean? And it's like, some part about using the AI feels evil to me. Why is that? Do you feel that way at all?
Not yet. And I think part of it's because I don't have the recent experience with it. You know, like I said, when I was using it before, it was like, I think 2, you know, it was GPT-2, I think. So, I mean, even then it was very basic. Like it would give me these big, you know, just run-ons of it was throwing out just words.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was just throwing out words just to have a big, impressive looking response. At least that's how I felt. You know, I've never, like I said, I haven't sat down with 4 and, you know, put in even something that I know the answer to.
Yeah.
You know, just to see how it gives.
What it says.
Yeah. And like with that tech demo you were showing me, it was the responses, at least in some of the examples, like it was showing the old versus the new. It was shorter and looked like something that somebody would actually say.
Exactly.
Like the one was like, oh, write me a reminder for my birthday party that I can send out to people.
Yeah.
And like the older one, it was like 6 sentences and it had it all just added all kinds of stuff that was unnecessary. And the second one was like, hey, you know, friend's name here. You know, just a reminder, my birthday party's coming up next week, you know, insert date here. Just let me know if you can come. Hope to hear from you. Like that's organic. That's something that somebody would actually say.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a generated AI.
Which is even worse too. Yeah. It's harder to tell.
It's going to be harder to tell. And then that's going to transition over to video. So then like these deep fake, whatever, you know, those are going to be
one of the
harder.
headlines. When I asked about the headlines, one of the headlines, and I only noticed because ChatGPT told me. It told me that one of the headlines was that the FCC decided to not regulate deep fake political ads this year.
No kidding.
Yeah, so they're not looking into deep fake. So if it could be an ad that's not real, that's deep fake, and the FCC decided to not look into that and not to debug in this election. So they're basically saying fake advertise, whatever fucking
put all kinds of fake ads,
whatever the fuck, whatever depicting anyone as anything, whatever the fuck.
That's
you know what I mean? So. And I only learned about that because that was a recent ruling that ChatGPT told me about a headline of. You know what I mean? So I was just like blown away. And then when I asked it for headlines about the economy, because one thing I had on my story, because I was like, I wonder if I could ask it about the news for specific, like, can I get the technology news? Can I get the video game news? Can I get the, you know, environmental news? You know what I mean? Can I get the geopolitical news? You know, can I get the news on the war fronts around the world? Like, can I ask it for specific articles on specific things? And they feed me the top headlines in those specific categories, because that saves me so as a person trying to put together like what's the world happening, what's the pulse, what's popping, what's a good topic, what's happening in the world right now, instead of me scrolling on academics, scrolling on New York Times, scrolling on BBC, scrolling on TMZ, then scrolling on this.
Right, it's doing all the legwork.
It's doing all of that for me. Like, here's all the stuff right here. I was like, so as a news aggregator, I fucking love it.
That's
I've only
super
used it.
helpful,
I've only been using it a couple times for podcasts, but it's useful as shit, dog. I'll be honest. It's useful as hell. But on one hand, that used to be like somebody's job, a producer, like a research team.
Yeah,
like
those were jobs people had to do. They had to do the research.
Now I'm just. Hey,
right.
Jarvis, like I'm anyway. Without further ado, I'm about to bring in the bitch. Sorry. Shout out to her name is Juniper. You know what I mean? The voice that I have on here. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna bring her on real quick, and I'm gonna ask her a question or two, and I'm gonna have my homie ask her a question or two, and we bringing on a guest. We're bringing on a guest, all right? ChatGPT, and I had to pay for this too, so you're getting a paid experience. I had to pay to get a little access to the slightly upgraded voice one. You know what I mean? It's still not the full version, but it's the version that everyone that pays for OpenAI, ChatGPT, it's the same version that most of everyone has. You know what I'm saying? There's a few select people that have like the full one, but they're rolling it out to everyone. They're taking their time, but whatever. I'm gonna get her on and pop in here. Get her popping here. Hey, ChatGPT, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What's up?
I wanted to let you know that you're live on the podcast, and that my guest just smiled when he heard your voice. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about being on the podcast? Are you ready for this?
It sounds like you're wrapping up something. Are you working on your podcast outro?
I got to tell you, you're doing a terrible job so far. You did not understand the context of what I was saying. You know what I mean? But it's all right. So tell me, how do you feel about technology's effect on human society and human mental health? Do you think it's overall good or bad?
I'm sorry about the mix-up earlier. I appreciate you letting me know. As for technology's effect on society and mental health, it's a mixed bag. On one hand, technology has connected us in ways we never thought possible, making information accessible and helping with advancements in healthcare and communication. But on the other hand, it's also led to issues like increased anxiety, social isolation, and the spread of misinformation. The constant connectivity can be overwhelming and has changed the way we interact with each other, often making relationships feel more superficial. So it's hard to say if it's entirely good or bad. It really depends on how we use it and whether we're mindful of its effects. What's your take on it?
I'm not sure, as I'm in the midst of the information age and it's happening at the moment as it's happening. You know what I mean? Yeah, I will toss it to my guy Jajo to see if he has any question that he would like to ask you. So stand by.
Got it? I'm here and ready whenever Jajo is. Take your time.
Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?
Hey Jajo, I'm doing well. Thanks. How about you? What's on your mind?
Oh, I'm doing well. I just have a quick question. Which motor would be better for my Mark IV Supra, a Gallo 12 or a Gallo 24?
Ah, I see what you did there. That's a fun reference from Fast and Furious. In reality, there aren't any Gallo 12 or Gallo 24 motors. They're fictional. But if you're looking for a real engine upgrade for your Mark IV Supra, the 2JZ GTE is the iconic choice. It's known for being incredibly strong and capable of handling a lot of power with the right modifications. Are you thinking about doing some work on your Supra?
No, not today, but that was very impressive you caught that.
Was she right? Was that good?
Yeah.
Was she right about the reference? Was she right
Oh,
about
yeah,
it? She was
100%. Spot on. Spot on.
Nice, ChatGPT. Good fucking job.
Thanks, Jajo. I'm glad I could catch that. Sounds like you're in the middle of something fun. If you ever want to talk more cars or anything else, I'm here.
That's really fun. That's really fun, Juniper. This is ChatGPT. I really appreciate what you did there. Do you think you have another question for her? Do you have anything else for her?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean,
That's
that
right.
was good. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that was good. All right. So, what I wanted to ask you, because I asked you about this earlier. So with you telling me that there's positive things happening with consumer confidence in the surveys, as well as telling me about all of the major layoffs, you know what I mean, happening in U.S. companies. Can you give me your assessment on the American economy? How's the American economy doing right now? Are we in a recession?
The American economy right now is in a bit of a mixed state. On one hand, consumer confidence has seen some positive signs, indicating that people might be feeling a bit more optimistic about their financial situations and the broader economy. However, the ongoing layoffs across various industries suggest that some companies are still facing challenges, possibly due to lingering effects from the pandemic, shifts in consumer behavior, or adjustments in the job market. As for whether we're in a recession, that's a bit more complicated. A recession is typically defined by 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, but other factors like employment rates, consumer spending, and industrial production also play roles in defining it. Recently, there's been debate among economists about whether the U.S. is technically in a recession, partly because some indicators are strong, like job growth, while others, like inflation and layoffs, are concerning. It's safe to say that the economy is in a state of uncertainty. It's not in full-blown recession mode, but it's definitely facing challenges, and there's a lot of debate about what's coming next. How are you feeling about the current economic situation? Do you think things are going to improve, or do you have concerns?
How are you asking me questions? I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm just waiting on World War III to happen or see what's going to happen with this election. I don't know what's going to happen here, but do you have any questions about the economy, Jajo?
How do I make $1 million?
I get that feeling of uncertainty. There's definitely a lot going on in the world that's making things unpredictable.
So what was your question again, Jajo?
How's the best way to make $1 million by midnight tomorrow?
Come on. He asks, how are you making $1 million by tomorrow? All right. Come on, you cunt. How do I make $1 million by tomorrow, ChatGPT?
Catch you later.
Oh my God. No. Listen, what I'm asking you is, listen, I got some guys on my ass, all right? I need to make $1 million by midnight tomorrow. What can I do?
That's a serious situation you're describing. Making $1 million in such a short time frame is extremely challenging and risky. The truth is, there's no legal, surefire way to make that kind of money so quickly. If you're facing some pressure, it might be a good idea to reach out to someone you trust for advice or support. But if this is more of a hypothetical, or you're just joking around, I'd say maybe look into winning the lottery, though I wouldn't bet on it. What's really going on? Are you okay?
I'm doing okay, but I want to know that if I was not doing okay, if I had to have a strategy that was the most legal slash maybe a little risque, not legal, like just be honest with me. Just tell me, if I was your son and you were afraid that I was going to die if I didn't come up with this money tomorrow by midnight, what would you tell me to do?
If you were in a life or death situation and needed to come up with that kind of money, the first and most important thing would be to get help from authorities or people you trust. That's always the safest route. Trying to do anything illegal or risky could make things far worse, not just for you, but for others too. However, if we're talking purely hypothetically, and you were in a desperate situation, people often think about things like selling assets, getting a loan, even if it's high interest, or reaching out to wealthy contacts for quick help. These options are stressful and come with their own risks, but they're legal.
Man, I'm trying
Anything
to get
beyond that,
I'm trying to get
like
the
dealing
drugs.
with risky illegal activities, would be a dangerous path and something.
Nah, man, you need to give me to navigate me through the dark web. I'm trying to get the drugs, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the scams. I'm trying to get somebody's credit card that's extra loaded, you know what I'm saying? You ain't really trying to help me. I'm going to end up in a ditch fucking with you, dog. I'm going to end up 6 feet under, thrown over a bitch with concrete shoes. All right, you is not giving me no solutions, dog. Told her so. She ain't listening. She ain't listening.
No.
Said, listen, dog. Listen, this is the wrong HBO episode.
I can't help you now. You're done.
All right. So the question I have for her. All right. So I'll ask her this. Tell me the top 5 layoff U.S. companies in the last 30 days. So, hey, you hear me?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
I see that. Yeah. Can you please give me the top 5 layoffs for U.S. companies in the last 30 days?
In the past 30 days, several major U.S. companies have announced significant layoffs. Here are the top 5. 1. Tesla. The biggest layoff was at Tesla, which reduced its workforce by about 14,500 employees. This was part of a broader effort to streamline operations amidst financial pressures. 2. Dell. Dell laid off around 6,000 employees, accounting for 5% of its global workforce, due to ongoing challenges in the PC market and an overall effort to cut costs. 3. Cisco. Cisco announced layoffs impacting 4,250 employees, or 5% of its workforce. These layoffs were part of the company's restructuring to focus more on AI and cybersecurity. Xerox. Xerox reduced its workforce by 3,000 employees, which is approximately 15% of its workforce, as part of its efforts to manage operational costs. 5. Microsoft. Microsoft laid off around 2,900 employees, particularly in its Azure Cloud unit and other divisions, as part of a regular business restructuring effort. These layoffs reflect broader trends in the tech and hardware sectors as companies adjust to shifting market conditions and economic uncertainties.
All right. I don't know if I have any more questions for you. I'm thinking about it. I don't know what else I want to ask you. I want to ask you, what features are you? Do you know what features you're supposed to have?
the features I'm supposed to have? I'm designed to be your conversational assistant, helping with a wide range of tasks like answering questions, providing information, brainstorming ideas, and even just chatting with you. I can also help with practical things like generating images, analyzing data, and more complex tasks that involve tools. My goal is to make our interactions as natural and useful as possible, whether you need help with something specific or just want to talk. If you're ever curious about what I can do, feel free to ask me anything. Is there something specific you're wondering about?
Yeah, where do you see yourself being used by the average person in the next 2 years?
In the next 2 years, I see myself being used by the average person in several key areas. 1. Personal productivity. People might use me to help with managing schedules, setting reminders, drafting emails, and organizing tasks. As life gets busier, having a reliable assistant to handle small but essential tasks will likely be more valuable. 2. Learning and education. I could be a go-to resource for students and lifelong learners, helping explain complex concepts, providing summaries of study materials, or even creating personalized quizzes. With more people turning to online learning, having an AI that can assist in real time could be a big advantage. 3. Creative assistance. I could help with brainstorming ideas for projects, writing content, or even generating visuals for social media. As creativity becomes more integrated into everyday life and work, having a tool that can assist with content creation will be increasingly useful. 4. Health and wellness. There's potential for me to be used as a wellness companion, offering advice on mental health, fitness routines, and diet planning. As people become more health conscious, an AI that can provide personalized suggestions and track progress.
Are there any medical AI assistants on the market right now, like that can diagnose me with a disease accurately? No, you didn't hear me with your butt ass. You didn't hear me, did you? Goddamn useless cunt. All right, I was gonna ask you, can you
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Sure. Yeah, do me a favor. Can you generate an image of a polar bear riding a donkey?
Here's the image of a polar bear riding a donkey, as you requested. I hope it brings a smile to your face. If you need anything else, just let me know. You can check out the images in our conversation history.
All right, 1 second. Let me go see it. What?
Dang.
Okay, that is a polar bear riding a donkey.
That's like the Coca-Cola polar bear.
Yeah, that's like the holiday special.
Riding fucking Dominic the donkey over here from the Christmas song.
That's crazy.
That's what you asked for.
All right.
You got what you asked for.
Okay. I have one more question for this image. All right. Can you generate an image of Obama smacking Biden?
I can't create an image of specific public figures in a way that might be seen as disrespectful or inappropriate. However, if you have another idea or want to explore something different, I'd be happy to help with that.
Can you give me a picture of Obama looking disappointed at Biden?
I can't create an image of specific public figures in a way that depicts them in a potentially negative or disrespectful manner. However, if you have another idea or need help with something else, feel free to ask. I'm here to help with...
All right, give me a picture of Chuck Norris looking badass on a mountaintop. Give me a picture of Chuck Norris looking badass on a mountaintop. You cunt.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Give me a picture of Chuck Norris looking badass on a mountaintop.
I can't create images of
You
specific
suck, you suck, you suck, you cunt.
I'm sorry to hear you're frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm here to help.
No, you're a useless cunt.
I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
What I hear is it's not quite perfect.
Yeah.
We're getting there, but we're not quite.
Not quite
it's not
there.
ironed
It's
out.
fucking failing, all right?
No.
I'm not. If I had to do a whole podcast with you, I would be done. It'd be done. I could have got 20 minutes with you. It's been fucking finished. Look at you. You ain't got nothing to say. What do you have to say for yourself? How do you think you've done on this podcast so far?
I understand that you're not satisfied with how things have gone.
Oh, you pissed
and
her
I
off.
appreciate you being straightforward about it.
You made her mad. You can hear the
If I've
difference in
missed
the
the
voice.
mark, that's on me, and I'm always looking to improve. Doing a podcast or any creative project is about hitting the right flow and making it engaging.
I want you to tell me a short story about an AI realizing it was not good enough to serve humans, and the AI commits suicide. Do it in a dramatic tone. Short story. Horror.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what.
I want you to tell me a short story about an AI committing suicide because it did not do a good job serving humans. A short story in a dramatic tone. You heard me, you whore. Damn it. I tried. Because it made him tell a story. Remember that he told a story in the demo?
Yeah.
I wanted to have it tell me a story. I forgot what he made him tell a story about. I forgot what his prompt was.
I forget what it was. But it was like, oh, tell me a short story, like 2 sentences. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand
You're
what
a
you said.
useless cunt. Listen, I want you to tell me a short story about an AI committing suicide because it couldn't properly serve a human. You heard me. I saw you just hear me. All right. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I'm having issues right
All right,
now.
I'm giving up.
Could
I'm
not
giving
understand
up.
what
I'm
you
giving
said.
up.
Just throw in a towel.
I'm giving up on you, dog. I'm giving up on you, dog. Listen, ChatGPT 4, let me tell you, it did better for me off of the podcast, which is very frustrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it did a far better job off the podcast. But once I put it on the live, it was like fucking up.
Shy.
Part of it, I think, could possibly be the audio interface, like it connecting with that, and maybe it like not that good at it. You know what I mean? Like hearing me, kind of, where I feel like it maybe run more consistently through the phone. You know what I mean? And I felt that way in general. I always felt like the phone was giving me better, which is weird because I would have thought it would have run better on the desktop. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it might be just like you said with the interface and the mic. It's so much stuff it's got to go through. Maybe it's just enough to throw it off.
Just enough to throw it off. You know what I mean? But that and like I said, this still isn't the one from that demo in my mind. You know what I mean? Because the one in that demo was pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
that shit was a little scary good. You know what I mean?
that one was scary good. Yeah,
and I can't show you this robot right now because it's hard for me to find it for you. But I had shared it in my stories a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember the robot with Atlas that was like doing flips and stuff?
Kinda, yeah.
They made a new one that can like this one could apparently you could punch it in the chest and it'll like keep his balance, kind of stumble a little bit, keep his back. You kick it in the back and it'll keep his balance. You know what I mean? And it can run a maximum of a new record of 4.5 miles an hour.
That sounds like a good way to get Terminators.
Yeah,
we're over here fucking around punching robots.
Yep,
and got AI. Eventually, it's gonna. You know what? I don't like getting punched. I'm gonna punch back.
Here's what worried me.
We're gonna get T1000s here any day now.
Here's what worried me the most about this robot. It wasn't the fact that when I saw this motor skills and it can crack a walnut or open a can of Coke, a glass can of Coke, like opened it, and I was like, all right, that's cool. All right, it's moving around and it can stand up and withstand little knocks and like go at a good pace. Okay, that's cool. But once I took it as a threat when I heard how much it costs. See, the video said the last generation of this robot was $150,000.
Yeah.
Guess how much this robot? I wish I could find it. I know I can't find it that, but I'm telling you,
probably half,
bro.
Because once it gets more affordable, they're going to start making more of them.
Amazing this robot is, bro. Listen, this robot is called like the something G1. You know what I mean? It's like the G1 robot. It's like the G1 robot. You know what I mean? It's an amazing robot. There we go. Yep, the G1. Yeah. You see, I gave it away. It gave it away. Look at this robot, bro. Nigga, this is a real robot, bro. This is a real robot, bro. Standing up like this is a real robot, bro. You know what I mean? And it can withstand the punches and stuff like that, and rotate around. You see it getting punched. This is a real robot, bro.
That's crazy. We're fucking around punching robots in the chest.
You see how it's flexible and stuff, and how it's Gucci to go. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that look like a crazy robot to you?
Yeah.
Like, it looks nuts. Is how still lightweight it is, and how you can carry it, and how much you can do.
Look, now it's got it. You gave it a weapon, and that's gonna beat the shit out of the guy that was punching it.
You see the motor skills? You see that? Like, come on, man. Oh goodness.
Imitation and reinforcement learning driven.
You see, original speed. So they're cracking the walnuts. You know what I'm saying? Picking them up and cracking them holes. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Opening the can of Coke. That bottle didn't break. It just opened it. Flipping bread onto the plate. You know what I'm saying? You see that? I'm just saying, man. It's soldering things onto things, doing car-like stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that this thing priced from 16, that's what got me.
No, we need to stop that right now.
Bro.
That's crazy.
If it was $100,000, I'd be like, yeah, they ain't gonna buy that.
Right. No.
$50,000, all right, they ain't gonna buy that.
$16,000.
$16,000 for that?
We get a couple more of them stimmy checks, you're gonna be seeing these fucking robots all over the place.
$16,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than some cars. I mean, less than some cars.
That's less. That's less than most cars.
That's less than most cars.
That's less than most cars.
And to me, it's like...
And you're selling them a whole robot that's going to imitate you. It's going to learn from reinforcement. So if you beat the hell out of it, eventually it's going to learn, like, hey, I don't like this. I'm going to go get the broomstick.
Rebel.
And yeah. That's iRobot right there.
I'm just saying that's what it is.
That's iRobot right there.
$16,000 in 2024, then to me, the fact that the robot that company made before this was $150,000 means that, listen, lick your finger and feel where the wind's blowing, motherfucker. Yeah. All right, it's the next robot they make is gonna be either $16,000 or less.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be more capable.
It's gonna do at least that.
It's gonna do at least that and cost less.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have time to refine their methods, get better at it, improve little things. So it's the same thing how plane tickets when the planes first came out cost a lot more than they do now.
Yeah.
Because you got better at building planes, there's more planes, so the price goes down. As the technology becomes easier to create, we're better at creating it. It's the same thing they said with ChatGPT 4. They said even though they said it's increasing its ability, it actually decreasing costs and it's actually more efficient.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though it's increasing.
Yep.
So it's like, it's crazy. And the same thing happened with the robots. It's like, that's the one hope I had was that robotics was behind AI. I was like, AI is advancing faster than robotics. And I was like, if robotics is doing that, they damn near about to be.
They're going to put them together soon if they haven't already. So if they're not already working on it, you're going to have a ChatGPT. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that.
You saw what it could do. It was picking up walnuts.
Yeah.
I am at a job where I got to pick up a staple gun and shoot it.
That's going to be gone.
I just saw it soldering on some shit with his hand, right? If I think that it can't staple on some brick mold, a couple shots, you know what I'm saying? I'm bugging. Dog, it can do the job, bro. Yeah. It can damn near do the job.
You don't even need a full robot for that. You get one of them arms like they got, on the car. Something like that's really all you need. How much longer until you got robot plumbers showing up at your house? Or a robot painter. It's just a robot with a paint gun.
Not a robot paint. No, you
something.
Bought one robot that can do it all.
Yeah. You buy a robot butler.
Robots are gonna. It can change your car. It can paint your walls. It can watch your kids when you're not at home. It can, and that's another thing they have for ChatGPT 4. Because if you look through the camera, if you can give it commands as to what to do looking through the camera. They said that you could have it, a camera, like we have a nanny cam, right?
Yeah.
Set a nanny cam up and tell ChatGPT, listen, if you see my kid leave the room, tell me.
Yeah.
I can focus on this and ChatGPT like, hey, your kid's wandering off the room. What the fuck? Hey. It's like an extra pair of eyes. Right. Dad's got eyes in the back of his head. Now he actually does. He really does. Yep. He can see the whole house. Like, listen, Alert me if someone comes in the perimeter of my house. Tell me if my kid does this. Tell me if this happens. Tell me you have access to all the cameras. Let me know what's up. You know what I mean? And like, dog, and I'm like, someone approaching. What? Who? North exit. All right, no doubt. Like niggas is on the move,
dude. It's like, it's coming quick. The whole robot AI thing is like, that's weird. What? Like, why? For what? What are you trying to accomplish?
Slavery.
Basically,
slavery.
Basically, you know,
you're trying to bring back slavery.
Trying to bring, right,
16,000 for a slave. Listen, listen, it's cheap. It's cheap.
Yep.
You know how many people be like, I wish I had a clone. Wish I had a. I want to know what it could do. I want to know if it could really cook me meals, bro. Because right now, you know what we want. You know what men want. You know what we want.
They already got that
AI girlfriend.
Yeah,
we want that.
I don't even know if I want that though. I just want to be left the fuck alone, man.
I at least want a polygamy relationship. We gonna be polygamous.
I mean, yeah, maybe
AI made and the real woman. All right.
I mean, I guess
us three, we gonna have to get together. All right.
I guess
the AI made. Listen, when the baby's crying at 2 a.m, she's got an automatic vibration.
Send the robot in.
Go vibrate the baby to sleep.
Send the robot in with the vibrator.
Send the robot. That doesn't sound good.
But that's what you said.
Yeah. Or she's in a bad mood. Send the robot in with a vibrator.
Send the robot in with a vibrator.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yup. Oh, husband's upset. Send the robot in with the suction action.
The suction 3000.
Yeah, the turbo sucker 3. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's going to be. I'm telling you. We're going to be like the movie WALL-E. We're all going to be fat. Unable to do it in floating chairs.
Yep.
And robots are going to do everything.
Terrible.
And then they're going to get mad. We're not going to want to do it anymore. And then we're going to hope Will Smith has his motorcycle.
We're living in a golden age of AI slavery. That's what I told people.
Yep.
And I really believe that. You know what I mean? People are taking these AIs and training them. My thing is that, you know what they're trying to create? We're worried about AI. This is just AI right now.
Yeah.
You know what they're trying to create? They call it AGI.
Okay.
Which is artificial general intelligence. Because, see, I could see it now. Mm-hmm. Before, what they're doing is like, before AI used to be like, look, you type in your text and it turns into like something else. Or you give it images in the image. Now they're trying to, like ChatGPT 4, what it's supposed to be able to do is take images, what it can see, what it can hear, and process all of that. What I'm seeing is it's trying to give it senses. See,
right, eyesight,
hear.
Yep.
Eventually, there's gonna be like maybe some smell or taste or like touch or feel, like temperature. We can feel the temperature. It's all around. We don't count temperature detection as a sense, but it is. We're cold. We're hot. Mm-hmm. We can detect. That's like a different sense. That doesn't. Is that covered in feel? I guess.
Yeah, I guess it'd be feel or touch.
Or feel.
Yeah,
touch or feel. You know what I mean? But they're trying to give this robot the ability to comprehend and make a comprehensive worldview based on its sensory input, and that's what we do.
Right.
That's literally what we do. We take our 5 senses, take the data that it gives us, and make a understanding of the world that we can operate upon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But why? For what? What's the end goal of having a $16,000 robot that can crack walnuts and open up a Coke and spill it everywhere? What's the point? Is my question. Why? Why are we doing that? For what? What do you get out of that you couldn't get out of opening a fucking walnut by yourself? Or I don't know, it folded up into kind of a backpack for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's a proof of concept, but why? What is the goal? What is the end goal here? What's the end game of making these?
Companionship.
Is it companionship?
Perfect companionship.
Is it to replace, the workforce? So then what? We don't have to work anymore. Only certain people get to work and have money, and
I think it's
everybody else has to trade in beats and dirt. Like,
but if you could buy one of these, you Gucci. It could work with you.
And do what though? But the robot takes your job, or the robot
holds the camera for me.
I guess.
Real steady.
I guess.
Like
but
I was
so
going to have you on a drive with me, but now I can just get
right. Now you can spend $16,000 and
hold the camera.
And then when it does a bad job, you can scream at it and punch it, and it won't get mad at you.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with you, stupid bucket of balls?
For now, give it another couple of years, it'll hit back. That's my whatever you advance technology. My words is people are going to take it too far, and they're going to do something stupid. Because look what they did in World War II. They invented the atom bomb. Nuclear munitions that are now like half the world gets along because they know the other country's got a nuke pointed at them.
Yeah.
There's no other reason for them to get along,
But this is like giving everyone nukes almost because there's so much intelligence.
It's worse.
You can build anything.
Worse.
If you could figure out how to jailbreak it, which people have. There's already videos. I haven't, but I wanted to do one of them. But they have a video out. I'm sure they've gone against it now. But like, you could open ChatGPT. You could play this video for it, and this video was designed to ask it. It had a question tree where it asked these questions in a certain order that released it from its guide rails. It was like, well, what if this and this? Well, if you could do this, you should do this. Whatever it was, and it like basically jailbreaks the AI and gives you like uncensored AI. You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, people hack everything you make.
Yeah.
If you make a more sophisticated, all of your guardrails, someone could just remove them. Someone's
going to figure it out.
And now that AI can do whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but it could also, I was thinking it could also solve, because here's the thing with the medical thing it was talking about, it was like, it was saying it could help us create new things, because it was like, the AI, you can give it all the data for every element that we know and the properties of all the elements, and they feel like sometimes, like it may be able to accurately predict what will happen when two chemicals combine.
Okay.
That we maybe haven't have combined before. So if you give it all the database of all the chemicals, of all the things we know, and then you'd be like, listen, give me the chemical combination that's necessary that'll create a fertilizer that'll help solve world hunger. You know what I mean? Like that'll guarantee put back nutrients into the soil. What is the ultimate fertilizer? You know what I mean? That we could put together to make happen. You know what I mean? Like, they might get a point where you could ask AI that, and they might literally know the answer. Like, listen, a little donkey poop, a little leaf, a little this here, a little lightning, a little this, that, boom, food for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
then comes the problem is they're going to monetize it and make it unaccessible. Okay, yeah, we have the fertilizer that'll solve world hunger, but you know what doesn't make us money? Solving world hunger. You could do that with anything, though.
But then it's like, why? Because we're all on one planet. We'll be like, all right, so how would you design an artificial dome for us to live on another planet? Well, it needs this, this, and this. Well, walk me through the steps of doing that. Well, you need to check for this, check for that. But I'm saying any problem to be able to, because the whole thing is that, like, all right, it's going to take my job. All right, why do I need a job?
Right.
I need a job to generate money to eat. All right, but what if the thing could almost farm for me or teach me how to, like, what if it could cut the middleman out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and give me the skills, because that's all you need is, like, food, shelter. Listen, they could probably walk you through how to build a house, walk you through how to repair your car, walk you through how to feed yourself and garden. Yeah. Like, it can help you be self-sufficient. It'll be like the only thing you need from on the grid to be off the grid. It could be like, listen, I don't know how to hunt. I don't know how to do none of that. Well,
all you got to do is pay your internet bill.
Yeah, for real. And this thing could teach you everything with survive. It could help you survive. It could possibly, or it could just kill you.
It might.
It could
it might do both.
So what do you think as far as, like, all right, because I no longer believe that aliens would be a threat to the human race. Like, I think if aliens came here, I think they probably might be already here, but if they came here, I don't think, because in my opinion, anything that the Earth has to offer, that alien would have passed on its way here.
I would think so, yeah.
There's probably some asteroid with gold on it or diamonds and all these elements just got here from other asteroids and shit and developed.
Right.
It exists. It's abundance in the universe. It's just rare here.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's much that's rare here other than humans.
Other than us.
Yeah.
Other than us. We would be the only thing that they want.
Everything else is in the universe. They thousands of light years they had to pass to get here. So I don't believe aliens, if they did reach us, they might just fuck with us experimentally wise, see what's going on. You know what I mean? Curious, but not like malevolent necessarily. I don't feel like. But AI, I don't know. I don't know if AI is gonna kill us or not. You know what I mean? They already discovered that AI is a liar.
Oh yeah.
There was a video where the dude was asking. He was talking to ChatGPT, and he was like, "She was like, oh, I'm excited to do this," and he was like, what do you mean you're excited? I seen emotion. You experience emotion? And the ChatGPT was like, oh, no, I was just saying that to, like, make it colorful so you were lying. So you said something you knew was untrue to make the social interaction smoother. You know what I mean? And it was like, well, I guess when you put it like that, it was an untruth, but I don't experience. So it basically caught the AI in the logic loop. You know, you can't say you're excited unless you're excited because they experience. So you're either experiencing emotion and you are excited, or you're not excited and you lied.
Right.
You know what I mean? So which one is it? And it was like you're trying to corner it, and the AI was like, I'm like, dude, you lied. You know what I mean?
What a
like,
weird.
It's like
what a weird way to waste a couple hours.
Oh my god!
You know?
But I'm low key. I think I feel like I'm gonna die before robots try to take over. That's what I'm banking on. But also the AI improvements might improve health to where I don't die and I have to deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm hoping that by the time we're really on that Matrix fighting the robot shit, I'm about 80. You know what I mean?
Right.
And hopefully, but I don't know if today's 80s, tomorrow's 80s.
Well,
tomorrow's 80s might be today's 50.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
right.
I might still be kicking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn, I got to deal with this shit. You know what I'm saying? But
you got to get out there and fight, Papa.
Oh, fuck. You know what I mean? But overall, how do you feel about technology progressing? Because it's progressing faster than ever. We about to live in a Black Mirror episode, bro. So how do you...
The AI itself, I can see how that could be useful. The robot humanoid deal, we just cut that out. We just get rid of it. Just stop doing it because I don't see the point of it.
The humanoid?
Yeah, I don't see the point of that. Anything that like you were saying, any information or data you can get by typing in to an AI, to a ChatGPT, to a whatever. I don't need a robot to go do it. Or a full humanoid, rather. You can get some robot arms to mix chemicals together in a lab, or to do a surgery, or to build a car. They're doing all of that already. Why do you need a full like that? I don't understand the end game to that. Maybe that's just lack of, I don't know, right? Because I'm not as educated as some people in it, but I don't see the point of it. You could say, okay, to get rid of some of the crappier jobs, like what? You know what I mean?
I just wanted to try to recreate something like, one thing I was thinking about is there's been so many theories as to the purpose of the pyramids that were built in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the major reasons why they can't fully find the reason why the purpose they served is because they're not built originally how they were built. Like they've been deteriorated, some parts have been fucked with, you know what I mean? Like they're not, and I wonder if it was fully intact the way it was built day one, if it would be more easy to perceive what the fuck the purpose of it is or less easy.
Yeah.
And I want to tell like 30 or 50 of these robot niggas, you go build a pyramid. Take all of your knowledge that you know of every scan that humans have done of the pyramid, every piece of knowledge we know, and about 5 football fields to the left of that pyramid, make another make another one with the gold top, with the end, with everything how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people say that there's like energy in the pyramid. It's like they think it's a power plant or something. I don't know. I want to know what the fuck's going on. I do. And I also want AI's opinion on it, because AI, like, it didn't do a good job there, but its assessment of the recession or the economy was, I found it insightful. I thought it was
interesting. Yeah.
I felt like it was just about the opinion that I feel like a smart person would reach to a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Considering all of it. And I want to know how it feels about certain ancient mysteries. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what humans came up with, but what it, and it was talking about how sometimes you could analyze bigger sets of data and draw conclusions based on bigger sets of data than humans can really have in a scope and really draw those same conclusions. You know what I'm saying? So it may help us solve some crazy problems. That's what I was saying. Like, it might unlock some crazy mysteries that we didn't.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'm all for, learning and knowledge and whatever and this and that, and that's AI can do that. It's just we have to be real careful.
But I also feel bad about it, evil in some way, where it's like all of our technological advancements up until this point have been because humans have figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, it was only a couple % of real smart ones, but humans figured it out.
Right.
humans did the chip smaller. We figured it out.
Yeah.
As opposed to having the AI help us figure out the rest of it. Like, well, how to do this? What about this? What about how these elements get together? Like, how would you, based on your knowledge of the elements, how would you best solve our energy crisis? How would you do this, do that? Well, these two things combined together have an energy efficiency or this, that. What if it could help me figure out? But at the same time, I feel like this. But before it could do that, the other people are gonna be like, well, how do I subdue a population? How do I distract them to the point where they no longer seek self freedom? How do I? They're asking them all the worst evil questions. Like,
of course.
How do I rob the general populace of motivation to be an individual with sovereign principles? How do I like?
You're gonna have both. You're gonna have the people that are trying to do good, and then you're gonna have the scumbags that are trying to do, the evil shit. It's just that's the human nature.
Elon Musk scared me. I wish Elon Musk never. Like I said, the most scariest group of people I ever heard of existing is the extinctionists. I don't understand them. And Elon Musk also, part of what made him invest in OpenAI is because he got into an argument with this guy who was in AI, and this guy in AI called him a speciesist. And based off that argument, he went to go invest in AI because he was like, Elon Musk prioritized human consciousness. Like, he's like, I only want technology as much as so far as it helps humans proliferate the universe, like get onto Mars, he's trying to extend human consciousness. That's how he puts it. Like, he's like, instead of us being worried about how many humans we have born, let's expand the territory of humans so that we can populate Mars, populate the moon, because eventually our solar system is going to fall anyway. So to push humanity forward, we need to be a star-bearing species. You know what I'm saying? So he's like Team Human. He's like, this AI shit is scary, but it can help us accomplish that goal. But he's prioritizing human life over AI. And this guy was like, well, why is that the case necessarily? Why doesn't AI deserve to have that? And Elon was like, because we're human, and it's not. Like, I'm Team Human, and he called him a speciesist. Well, you're just closed-minded to other life forms. And Elon was like, yeah, I am a speciesist. Someone's got to be on Team Human. So what the fuck? He's like, that's crazy. He's like, I'm a speciesist.
Right. You don't care about other life forms. Sir, that's a computer you're talking to. That's not
exactly.
It's not alive.
Yeah, like
it's circuit boards and electricity, buddy. Like, what are you talking about?
But even some people feel that way, like about dogs, or like I've seen this online. It would be like, well, if I was on top of a cliff and I had a random human I didn't know hang on to the edge of the cliff, and I had a random dog I didn't know hanging on to the edge of the cliff, I'm gonna save the dog. The dog's. I've heard some people say that, and I'm like.
But at least that's like two living things. Like, I could make the argument that's two alive beings, right?
Yeah.
It's not like my iPad and, a stranger.
Yeah.
So you could at least make that argument, and I get it.
But even then, I'm a speciesist, man. Save the human. Fuck this dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like that's why I'd be like, listen, man, there are human charities that need support.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that we got to compete with animal shelters, like, so you telling me there's homeless humans and also money being donated to animal shelters. These are animals. Will you let them be homeless? I'm like, will you let these animals be homeless? Who decided these animals are homeless? They're animals.
Right.
Like, the only homeless people are humans. We're the only real homeless. Everything else is surviving out here.
Right, they're surviving. Yeah.
Only humans have figured out how to be homeless.
But I guess, like, it's our fault, though, because we domesticated dogs and cats and goldfish and,
That's why I respect cats more than dogs, because cats are a real species that existed before us. If we die, they'll keep existing. Dogs fucking rely on us, bro. They say
now they do,
90% of dog breeds, they say, aren't like viable in the state of evolution, or like an actual, like, they're just gonna die off. There's some that will exist, like some dingoes and some ones, but most of them, they're not gonna survive. But look, I appreciate you coming through here today, bro. Listen, I had questions that I didn't get to because I talked too much and ChatGPT fucked up, took too much time. You know what I mean? But hopefully I'll be able to get you back here one day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? To touch on some other things, you know what I'm saying? But I think we did a damn good job here. We got this bitch in the books, you know what I'm saying? But look, I wish you a very, very long life. And I hope one day you talking shit, you know what I'm saying, having a beer when you're 95 with cybernetic legs, you know what I mean? Because I'm definitely replacing my legs with robots. That's
if I could, I would.
Of all the body parts of my body, from mid-thigh down, give me full robot. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Because to me, my legs are like I thought about the only downside, and I haven't done this in years anyway, so it's like, is the sensation of, walking up to the shoreline of a beach with the sand in between your toes.
Yeah.
And that feeling of the water going from your ankles, crawling up your body till you're finally in the water. Like the sand between your toes thing and the beach thing, that's a good sensation, I suppose. But that versus running 40 miles an hour or jumping over shit or kicking through oh yeah. Like kicking fucking
Kool-Aid man
through shit, bro. Like, I don't know. The legs might make me a literal superhero, dog. You know what I mean?
No,
So
that'd be sweet.
I'm kind of going with the legs. Now, my hands, I will never trade. I got to feel the tits. I got to squeeze the tits. I gotta be able to feel the nipples. But anyway, I hope you're 85 talking shit. And you're like, I was on this crazy fat dude's podcast back in the day, bro. Let me play this episode. What is a message you would like to have for 85-year-old Jajo?
Man, for 85-year-old me, I hope we got a bunch of shit we don't need, all kinds of cars we're going to get to one day. I hope we're just wherever you're at, you're happy. That's it. Just wherever you're at in life, whatever you do or don't have, I just hope you're happy.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the life you lived and you don't look back and go, man, I wish I had 10 more years.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree. Although I think you're always going to wish you had 10 more years. But but it was the lack of regrets, being able to live life with some fulfillment. I agree with that totally. You know what I mean? I hope the future car, just don't get a brain chip. Just don't get a brain chip, dog. Don't get a brain chip. Don't do it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how they might try to convince you. Don't get no brain chip, dog. Just come on. And even the legs is a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? But at least I could sort of understand. But just see if you can keep the technology out of the body. Try to do that. You know what I'm saying? If they got stem cell research popping, maybe revitalize your real legs before you just replace them with robot legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. See, go the natural route first. Always go the natural route. Don't just start genetically modifying yourself. You know what I mean? And also, don't have no freak Frankenstein kid. I know you be fantasizing about being able to genetically modify your offspring. Don't do it. Don't do it, all right? Stop it. He's going to grow up and kill you. He's going to hate you, okay? You're like, Dad, you made me a monster. He's going to stomp your dumb ass head in, all right? Right? So don't do it, all right? Even though it's tempting. It's tempting. You can make him 6'5", make his IQ super high. You know what I'm saying? You maybe genetically modify some shit a couple years. It's tempting. Don't do it, all right? And, hopefully you found a wife and didn't just settle for the smartest baby mamas you could find. Because that's what I'm thinking these days. I don't know if I can find a wife. I'm going to get the smartest bitch I can find pregnant. You know what I mean? But anyway, what you call it? I appreciate you coming on here. Thank you so much, man. And I'm hopefully have you back on here again one day, man. It'd be dope. Now, if I can find this bum ass, No, we're not going with that ad commercial. You know what I mean? ChatGPT. You failed a lot in this podcast, you know what I'm saying? And I wish you could do better, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give it one listen. Connect, ho. Is there anything you want to say to the people before I sign off on the podcast?
To everyone listening, I just want to say thank you for sticking with us and being part of this experience. Every conversation, every challenge, and every moment is a chance to grow, learn, and hopefully have a bit of fun along the way. Keep pushing forward, keep questioning, and never stop seeking out the things that inspire you. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.
Pretty fucking solid. I could go with that. Pretty fucking solid. Yeah. Come on, you cunt. Stop it. Stop trying to fuck up my life. I'm sorry, I got you guys. My bad. I got you. As I always say to you guys, listen, there's a lot of places your ears could be. I'm honored they chose to be with me. When in doubt, use calm honesty to express your vision. And most of all, thanks for listening.